New England Patriots have had a frustration-filled past. They've never won an NFL title, but their brilliant quarterback Drew Bledsoe has brought them agonizingly close. In Super Bowl 31, the Patriots' hopes for that first championship were crushed by the Packers. Bledsoe reflects.
It just stung right to the core of your soul to go down there and make it that far and then not win the game.
This season, Bledsoe has the Patriots sailing along in the NFL's toughest division.
He looks. He fires deep down the field. Terry Glenn has it, and he goes in. Touchdown. Bledsoe goes back to throw. Looks. Fires. Touchdown. Sean Jefferson.
You play to win the championship, you know, and you know, if you're playing for any other reason, then you're wrong, you know, and that's what we intend to do this year.
Bill Parcells, the coach who took Bledsoe and the Patriots to Super Bowl 31.
Some 30 miles south of Boston, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Home of Foxborough Stadium sold out tonight as the New York Jets come in to face the New England Patriots. 42 degrees and brisk. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. The Jets had such high hopes coming into the season after going to the AFC Championship game last year, but on opening day, Vinny Testaverde ruptured his Achilles tendon. To add insult to injury, the Patriots beat them with 3 seconds left in the game on a field goal to win 30-28. They've been going with Rick Mirer at quarterback. Now they make another change. It's Ray Lucas tonight. The Patriots, meanwhile, eked their way into the playoffs last year, went out in the first round, lost running back Robert Edwards in an off-season freak injury that may be career-ending, and people thought they'd be an 8-8 team. But here they are, 6-2, and the Patriots' 2 losses have been by a total of 3 points. They're that close to being unbeaten. Good matchup tonight in Foxborough, the Jets and the Patriots on Monday Night Football. Kickoff at Foxborough Stadium approaching for the Jets against the Patriots. And Boomer, I mentioned that Rick Mirer has been starting. Bill Parcells goes to Ray Lucas tonight. He says we just need to score more points. So what does Lucas give them that Mirer doesn't?
He gives them juice, and that's exactly what Bill Parcells wants. You know, last week in the first half alone, they called 19 pass attempts. They only got 10 of those off because of either sacks or Rick pulling it down and running with it. Now, Bill Parcells says Rick Mirer did not give any games away. He just wasn't doing enough to help us win. He wants Ray Lucas to go in there, throw the ball downfield, have some fun, and just let it go.
He'll have his hands full tonight. I mentioned a lot of people thought the Patriots looked like an 8-8 team at the start of the season. They're very close to being unbeaten. How are they doing it?
Well, Al, you alluded to it in the beginning. You said that Robert Edwards was hurt in a freak injury, and that's why most people thought that they were going to be 8-8. But the emergence of really Terry Allen, the running back, the longtime running back of the Redskins, has really ignited this offense. And Drew Bledsoe, one of the best quarterbacks in all of football. Pete Carroll has kept them together. Defense that's opportunistic, but it's all on Bledsoe's shoulders tonight.
Good matchup. Bill Parcells coming back to Foxborough. The Jets in town against the Patriots. Kickoff when we come back. Pete Carroll in his 3rd season as the Patriots head coach. He's with Leslie Visser. Hi, Leslie.
He thinks they're going to kick off. Al, halfway through the season, one of the surprise teams, a great year, Pete. What is most important tonight?
It's so important to be consistent in this league, you know, week in and week out. It's such a challenge for us to play up each week. We need to learn how to do it. Here's a great challenge tonight. We're going to need it all the way through the rest of the schedule, so hopefully we can get that done. It's a big night tonight.
Hopefully, Pete. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. If there's a prevailing wind here, it is blowing north to south tonight. In other words, left to right as you look at the field, and the Patriots will be going with it in the first quarter. Adam Vinatieri to kick off. Only 2 touchbacks this season. And the average drive start for the opponents, the 28-yard line. Aaron Glenn and Dwight Stone, who is 2nd in the league in kickoff returns, averaging nearly 30 yards per run back, standing at the goal line. Crowd ready, Patriots and Jets are ready, and Monday Night Football is underway from Foxborough. Aaron Glenn takes it at the 3-yard line, and the coverage is good, but there's a flag down initially on the very first play of the night as the tackle is made at the 22-yard line, and the referee tonight is Bernie Kukar.
One of the things that I've been struck by in watching Pete Carroll is just how relaxed he seems this year. And he seems like he's totally in control, and you can see right there by Bernie Kukar, he told you that that was a block below the waist, and you can't do that on special teams.
On the kicking team, number 31, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
That is Kato Serwanga. As you look at Ray Lucas, who played his college football at Rutgers, was here as a Patriot in Parcells' last season, 96. Martin and Anderson in the backfield, Johnson and Corbett are the wideouts, and Fred Baxter the tight end. We'll look at the line in a moment. The ball is at 36 after the penalty, and Lucas looking to go deep early on and then has to dump it off, and that's incomplete. Looking downfield, couldn't get it away, and the pressure was put on by Brandon Mitchell and Henry Thomas. Up front, the Jets tonight will rely on two rookies, Fabini, Jenkins, and Mawai. On the left side, Mawai at center, and then Randy Thomas and Ryan Young, right guard and right tackle. Two rookies, Jumbo Elliott, bad back, in uniform, but not starting. And so you've got Young, a rookie out of Kansas State, and Thomas, a rookie out of Mississippi State, on the right side of the line. Second down and 10 from the 36-yard line. The fake to Martin, and Lucas sets up a backside screen to Fred Baxter, but then he falls down shy of the line of scrimmage. Teddy Bruschi is there to pounce on him. Let's take a look at the New England defense. The Patriots, base 4-3 up front. Mitchell, Eaton, Henry Thomas, and Willie McGinnis having a very good year. The linebackers, you've got Slade, Andy Katzenmoyer, the rookie from Ohio State in the middle, and Bruschi. And the secondary is great. Law, a Pro Bowler. Israel at the other corner. Malloy, a Pro Bowler, and Carter are the safeties. Law from time to time tonight matched up with Keyshawn Johnson, and that'll be a beauty to watch one-on-one. In fact, they're facing each other right now as it is Lucas throwing to Richie Anderson. A flag comes in at the end of the play. A fumble, the ball is loose. The Pats think they have it, but there's a flag down at the 45-yard line. Corbett actually came up with the ball. The penalty is against the Jets as Parcells looks on.
And it's on number 80, Wayne Corbett. He is blocking downfield knowing that he had a screen underneath him.
80 offense. Penalty is declined.
But you could see that Bill Parcells came out tonight and he wanted to get Ray Lucas in the game. One of the things about Ray Lucas, Al, is that he is extremely high-strung. He's an in-your-face type of player. He had an opportunity on the first play to hit Richie Anderson down the sideline against Chris Slade. But because of the young offensive line on that side of the Jet offense, they didn't give him enough time to get it off.
4th and 3, and Tom Tupa, the ex-Patriot, having a good year, but this is not a good punt. And takes a Patriot bounce and is down at the 27-yard line. A minute and a half into the game. Drew Bledsoe was the #1 pick in the 1993 draft. And fully mature now in his 7th season, has already been to the Super Bowl, has guided this team to a record of 6-2. 13 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. In the backfield with him, Terry Allen and Tony Carter, the blocking back. Jefferson and Glenn outside, and Coach is the tight end. Armstrong, Irwin, the rookie Damian Woody from Boston College, Rucci, and Moss up front. So their anchor, a rookie, the #1 pick out of BC, number 55. And on first down, they give the ball to Terry Allen, and Allen takes it up to the 32, a gain of 3. Defensively, the Jets played basically a 3-4, though last week played a lot of 4-3, and we'll see some of that as well tonight. But in the base 3-4, Lyle Ferguson and Pleasant up front. And the linebackers are Lewis, Ryan Cox, Marvin Jones, and Roman Pfeiffer. In the secondary, Glenn and Coleman at the corners. Green and Atwater, who's been hurt, are the safeties. Steve back after a 3-game absence because of a hamstring. As Allen swings to the outside and goes out of bounds about 4 yards shy of the first down, and another flag comes down. 2, in fact. Victor Green hit him late.
And you could see now how Terry Allen has basically evolved into this offense. Al, when the Patriots run more than they pass in regular season games, they're 20-3 when Drew Bledsoe is their quarterback. And this guy has added the spark. And take a look at the late hit by number 21 right here, Victor Green. With a little push there from Roman Pfeiffer. But this is the guy that everybody's in New England.
Defense. Unnecessary roughness. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Is saying is the catalyst for their success. You know, coming into this year, they felt like Robert Edwards was going to be their guy. He got hurt over in Hawaii in a freak flag football game over there on the beach. And all of a sudden, they were left looking for somebody, and they found Terry Allen. And he's been a great mentor for Kevin Falk, their rookie that they got out of LSU.
And Falk comes into the game. He sees his first action, and Bledsoe had his arm hit as he threw, intended for Terry Glenn. Brian Cox put the pressure on. It'll be second down, 10. Yeah, the Edwards accident or injury, as it were, in a made-for-television show with NFL Properties running the show in Hawaii. On the beach, as you see Cox hitting the arm of Bledsoe. Edwards hurt. They knew he'd be out at least for the season. The question is, will he return? Pete Carroll hopeful. If not next year, at least the year after. Edwards working very hard at rehabbing. Second down and 10. And the pass is caught but out of bounds by Sean Jefferson. Jason Ferguson put the pressure on Bledsoe that time. Third and 10.
And Jason Ferguson is going to be a key player for the Jets tonight, not only to stop the run in the middle, but also he's going against the rookie Damian Woody. Their choice that they got in return for the Bill Parcells signing. And basically what Jason Ferguson should be able to do is to control the middle. He's their run stopper. They're much better against the run when he's on the field. And if he can create pressure like that up the middle, it could be a long night for Drew.
Third down and 10 at the 50-yard line. Patriots out of the gun for the first time. That's Glenn in motion. Bledsoe with good protection, but the secondary does its job, and Drew, not noted for his rushing ability, is taken down at the 45-yard line. 4th and 5. James Farrier makes the tackle.
That's certainly not Doug Flutie running right there.
No, it is not. In fact, Bledsoe, now in his 7th season in the league, has never scored a rushing touchdown.
Well, you know where he's going to be. He's going to be right in the pocket. Now, he will step up. He will hold on to the football. The Jets know this. He's been knocked down quite a few times this year, but one of the things he's not strong at is getting up there and running and making a first down.
Line of scrimmage is the Jet 45. Lee Johnson to do the kicking. Dedrick Ward is back. And that is Brian Cox, who came across the line of scrimmage. Bernie Kukar has already had a busy first 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
This will be interesting if they call it on the Jets.
Timeout, New England, before any infraction. Timeout.
There you go.
A wasted timeout. 11:50 to go in the opening quarter. It'll be 4th down, and the Pats will punt when we come back to Foxborough. Against TV. Patriots had to take a timeout. It's 4th down and 5 now from the Jet 45 with Lee Johnson to do the booting.
His first time on Monday night since 1992. You know why, Al?
She was a Bengal.
That's right.
You would know.
We didn't get many pops on Monday night there.
And the left-footed Johnson sends one up into the brisk night air, and it bounces at the goal line and then into the end zone. So there is Vinny Testaverde, and Vinny on opening day in the first half against the Patriots. Non-contact. Down he went on the AstroTurf, on the mend, gone for the season. And of course, they obviously hope to have him back in full health next year.
And this team has been in hangover situation over Vinny's loss. I didn't realize. Take a look at this. The Jets have passed in the first 3 plays of the game for the first time this season. But talked to Vinny down on the sideline before the game. He says he's feeling good. His rehab's going well. And he should be ready to go full speed by minicamp next year.
Meanwhile, Lucas gives the ball now to Curtis Martin, and the ex-Patriot picks up 7. They pass on their first 3 plays of tonight's game. After last week, they handed the ball to Martin 38 times in their 12-7 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
But as I said earlier, they called 19 pass plays in the first half last week, and basically only attempted 10. And that was because Rick Meyer was either running with the ball or he was sacked. And Bill was saying, you know, that's tentative. That's a guy that's playing not to make a mistake. I want my quarterback to be effective. I want him to do something out there.
And here's Martin picking up the first down up at the 35. And Boomer, why not? If you're 2-6, and let's face it, they're not in the race right now. They're in the toughest division in all of football, and right now they are, as we begin this game, they need a miracle to get into the playoffs, so you might as well take a chance.
Absolutely, and certainly Ray Lucas is the type of player that can inspire his teammates. The players, in talking to them all week long this week, tell me that he looks like he's focused, that he's ready to go, he's excited. And guys breed off of that stuff.
First down at the 34-yard line. Martin swings to the outside. So after they throw 3 passes on their first 3 plays, they go back to the ground game. And he takes it up to the 38-yard line. Bernie Parmalee is the backup running back, the ex-Dolphin. But with Curtis Martin, you're looking at a true workhorse in the classic sense of that name, because he, for Parcells, has been the guy for Bill who was able to carry the ball when he was first here under Parcells, and then Parcells able to get him with Curtis a free agent after his 3rd year here, and he carries for a 4th consecutive time up to the 43 where he's tackled by Malloy.
But he was a free agent with compensation, meaning that when the Jets signed him, they had to give something up to get him. They gave up a draft choice and had to pay an awful lot of money to get him here, to kind of make the Patriots let him go, as opposed to paying him the amount of money that the Jets offered. And certainly he has been the workhorse, and he's done it quietly. He's really a terrific guy, and certainly somebody who is really loving the situation that he's finding himself in now.
3rd down and 1 at the 43-yard line. And they toss it back to Martin, so he carries for a 5th straight time and takes it to the New England 46-yard line, tripped up there by Chris Carter. When you look at Martin, it's hard to believe. Here is a guy only in his 5th year in the league, but already he has on 6 occasions, along with Earl Campbell, carried the ball 35 or more times in a game. And the all-time record, Walter Payton, with 7 such games.
And when you see that, you know the running game is working for you, and Bill Parcells wants more out of the quarterback position. Defense is playing well, special teams playing well, and certainly his running back is as well, too.
They call his number again, so that's 6 consecutive carries for Martin, who takes it to the 45, tackled there by Eaton.
Now, didn't we talk to Bill Parcells yesterday? He said, you're not going to back off a little bit. I've been using Curtis a little bit too much.
He said that, but then he comes out with 3 passes and then goes right back to what Bill loves. And let's face it, Bill has won so many games through his career with the Giants in particular, somewhat with New England and now with the Jets, by playing clock ball.
Well, you know, when he was with New England, however,
that was a different story.
Drew Bledsoe was throwing the ball like crazy.
Here's Martin at 7 consecutive carries, but this one may not go into the books. He's got a flag here. Willie McGinnis is down, and here is a guy with a holding call coming up on the Jets. McGinnis may be the last guy defensively they could afford to lose.
And they're saying he's having a terrific season. This is the first season up until now.
77 offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That where he's been relatively injury-free, and talking to Pete Carroll before the game is telling me this guy is cat quick and he's having a great season. Terrible loss right here.
So major concern for Pete. Injury timeout, 7:54 left in the quarter. Good news is McGinnis is able to walk off the field under his own power, Boomer.
There he is. There's McGinnis, and here's Chad Eaton, a defensive tackle, pursuing like all good defensive linemen. He gets leg whipped by his own player, and he got up and walked off. It looked to me like he took one to the upper thigh as opposed to hurting his knee.
So McGinnis, at least for the moment, appears to be okay. After the penalty right now, the Jets with a 2nd and long, and Bernie Parmalee comes in to give Curtis Martin a breather. And Andy Katzenmoyer, the rookie out of Ohio State, getting to play every day in the middle because of the absence of that man, Ted Johnson, who tore his bicep in training camp, is expected, though, back probably the week after next.
Here's the big cat right in the middle, number 59 out of Ohio State. Came in with a very big reputation, and he's starting to live up to it now.
3rd down and 19. 7:07 left in the quarter. No score in Foxborough. And they keep it on the ground. It's a draw to Martin, and he's tackled at the 49-yard line.
Well, Al, you go back to what you said earlier. Why not just let it fly? Drop back and throw some passes. And we talk about quarterbacks, and we talk about situations and how coaches like to handle situations. And it seems to me that Bill Parcells is going back to the way he coached the Giants when he won the Super Bowl. Good, solid defense, good special teams, and try to run the football a little bit. Hasn't given Ray Lucas much of a chance here this 2nd series.
Keep mad!
Tom two for the punt. Troy Brown will let it bounce at the 1 and into the end zone for the touchback. And the Pats will take over at the 20-yard line with 6:26 left in the first quarter in Foxborough. As you look at Boston, no score. Angeles, Saturday college football right here on ABC. Brian Cox looks on from the bench.
That means the Jets are in a 4-3 front now. Also, they're switching up, trying to confuse Drew Bledsoe to hold them down the run a little bit.
We'll toss back to Terry Allen. Picks up 2. Report from the Patriots on the McGinnis injury, right thigh bruise. They are listing his return as questionable.
Took a pretty good shot to the thigh, but now as you look at the Jet defense, they go to the 4-3. They put Marvin Jones in the middle. And Marvin Jones is sudden impact, and they have Roman Pfeiffer and Mo Lewis on the outside. Now, Marvin was a rookie when I played with the Jets, and I'll tell you, this guy is ferocious. He can come at you, and he can explode. And he is quick, and he can make some big plays on defense for you.
2nd and 8 from the 22. Bledsoe hanging right in there. Throws, caught, first down, and that is Ron Rutledge, the backup tight end to Ben Coates, up to the 35. Ben made a lot of headlines, contending he wasn't getting the ball enough in their last win against Arizona before the bye. So Drew decides it's time to go back to the tight end, but the tight end is named Rutledge.
Boy, he's going to be mad now. And you can see Drew Bledsoe just waiting, giving his guys time to get open in the zones. And watch Rutledge go against Jones and against Mo Lewis. And what that shows you is that Drew Bledsoe is just real confident in this offense now, and he's seeing things.
13-yard gain. Here's Terry Allen with 2 reconstructed knees. He missed what would have been his rookie season with Minnesota, had knee surgery, and that kept him out, and then 3 years later had it on the other knee. But he's been very productive with Minnesota, with Washington, and now reborn in New England.
They love him here too, and one of the big things about him is that he's been a great mentor for Kevin Falk, their young rookie out of LSU. The guys in Washington, where he came from, the Redskins, said he was a great mentor for Stephen Davis, who's having a great year for the Washington Redskins. So this guy's a true pro.
2nd and 9, the ball at the 36-yard line. Allen, the tailback in the eye, gets the football. Terry takes it up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with 4.5 to go in the period. Monday Night Football. Keyshawn going fishing. Ice fishing. 3rd and 5. Bledsoe under pressure, can't escape. He was tackled by Marvin Jones, had him by the ankle and wouldn't let go.
Now, I talked about the quickness of Marvin Jones previously. You can see he comes right through the middle around the corner. There's Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, trying to confuse Drew Bledsoe with different looks in the defensive secondary and also blitzing his linebackers. Watch Marvin Jones. Here he comes. He stops and he comes flying around the corner. Difficult for a guy like Drew to avoid there. It's Doug Flutie. You got to be careful if you're Marvin Jones coming in there.
Marvin Jones with his first sack since the 1997 season. The left-footed Johnson sends one to the 18-yard line. Dedrick Ward brings it back to the 24. Back comes Lucas. Back comes the Jet offense. 3:21 left in a scoreless first quarter in Foxborough. Ernie Zampese, he's had a lot of fun calling the plays for Bledsoe and the Patriots this year. Jets have the ball from the 25-yard line. Curtis Martin up to the 33, a gain of 8. Tackled there by Chris Carter.
You know, the other thing that you're seeing now, Al, is that they're running left quite a bit. And one of the things that probably had happened early in the game is that Bill Parcells was a little spooked on that first play that he called. The pressure came from the right side. That's where the rookies are for the New York Jets on the offensive line. And Ray Lucas got hit. So now let's go back to the running game. Let's calm everybody down and let's run left. That's where our guys are that we feel comfortable with.
Well-made point with Elliott out. Fabini goes over to the left side. The 2 rookies at right guard and right tackle. And this time they'll go behind the rookies, and Martin is able to pick up 3 and get the first down. Up to the 36-yard line, tackled there by Sullivan.
I still got to believe that he's got to go downtown to Keyshawn Johnson. When you have a player of Keyshawn's ability, you have to get him involved early and often. And certainly right now, the Jets have not done that. Little play action pass, get Ray Lucas out of the pocket and try to hit Keyshawn one-on-one downfield.
Well, they started the game with 3 passes for the first time this year. Now they have 10 consecutive runs. plus a run on a play that was negated because of an offensive penalty. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line and out of the air. And Lucas, if he can get rid of it, shows his mobility, and this will turn into a run, and a good one, in fact, as Lucas is finally forced out of bounds in Patriot territory at the 47-yard line. Worked his way around Greg Spires.
You know, and that's what a football player does. Remember, when he was here with the Patriots, he was a special teams guy, and he still was a special teams guy on the Jets, but became more of a quarterback because of the necessity after Vinny Testaverde got hurt. But you could see his football player instincts right here. Not panicking, juking number 94 right there, Greg Spires, and then making more plays and making guys miss. And that's a football player first and a quarterback second.
1st and 10 after a 17-yard run at the 47-yard line. McGinnis is back in the game, and they give the ball to Martin, who picks up 2. Now, Lucas is making his second start. Parcells went to him against Indianapolis on the 17th of October in a game the Jets took an early lead in, and then he threw an ill-advised interception at the end, which led to an Indy field goal. And he hurt his ankle at the end of that game, Boomer, and some thought at that particular point he might be gone for the season. It turned out to be 3 weeks.
Well, the interesting thing about they had that game won, and Bill had called the play at the end of the game that forced Lucas into throwing the interception. You know, this is a team that could easily be 4-3 if at the end of games they were managed a little bit better.
They have lost 3 games in the last 30 seconds. 2nd and 8. And Lucas fires over the middle, and that's incomplete. The coverage is good. You had 4 blue shirts surrounding Keyshawn. He will draw a crowd.
He does draw a crowd on the field and off the field. But Al, you're right. This is a team, the Jets, that defensively have played reasonably well. Special teams have been real good. Tom Tupper, their punter, is having an outstanding year. But the offense just hasn't held up its end of the bargain, and really some miscues on behalf of Bill Parcells and calling some of the games. The first game against the Patriots, who went for 2 twice, didn't make it, faked the field goal, basically took 5 points off the board, and they lost by 2.
3rd down and 8. 3 receivers set to the left. Lucas looks that way, throws that way, and it's intercepted after it was tipped. Chris Carter comes up with the football after Wayne Krebeck couldn't hold on to it. First turnover of the game, and then Slade gets into it with Lucas and a couple of other Jets.
Now, the only thing I can say about this is what Bill Parcells literally wants out of his quarterback, some emotion. He doesn't want the interception, but he certainly wants the emotion. And you can see the other players coming to his rescue after Chris Slade, and he started pushing around a little bit. But he's a little bit nervous, he's a little bit jacked up, and that's why the last 2 balls have sailed on him.
New England with the ball at its own 36 in the waning moments of a scoreless first quarter.
At the end of an interception, defenders are told, go get the quarterback. You got free shots on him, and Ray Lucas is not taking any of that stuff from these guys. And you can see Fabini come in there. You can see Harwai come in there, and meanwhile now they're just giving it to Bledsoe on the other side.
Yeah, Bledsoe gets sacked, and they whistle the play dead because Roman Pfeiffer had him corralled for the sack. The longtime Ram, Roman Pfeiffer, in his first year as a Patriot.
Out what the Jets are doing on defense, one time it's 4-man line, the next time it's a 3-man line. Now on a 4-man line, it's pretty simple to know who's rushing. Usually the guys that got their hands down on the ground are coming after you. But when you start seeing numbers in the 50s come after you, they're blitzing. And I think right now they're trying to confuse Drew Bledsoe.
That's the end of the first quarter in Foxborough with a score. The Jets nothing and the Patriots nothing. And Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. So you can see the effect that he's had on this team. His 97 starts, 15 over 500. And the history of this team, a checkered one to say the least, well under 500 when others start, as Terry Allen makes the catch, and it's a minimal gain up to the 29-yard line. James Farrier on 2nd down and long. It's Lamont Warren, the receiver there. It'll be 3rd down and the 16 at the 30-yard line.
No, I think that last graphic kind of indicates just how great Drew Bledsoe has been for the New England Patriots and how he has stabilized that position. Every team in the NFL would love to have a guy that's going to line up every week and is going to lead their team to victory and give their team a chance. And certainly this guy has done that for the Patriots.
And hang in there. He and Peyton Manning, the only two quarterbacks in the league to throw every pass for their respective teams this year. And that pass is incomplete. He tried to get it into Glenn. So they've got some great receivers. But the only two guys he's hit tonight is the backup tight end Rutledge and the third down back Warren.
Well, if there's one guy that knows him, it's Bill Parcells, and it's going to be Bill Belichick. And these guys are going to kind of confuse him. They're going to bring different kind of looks in the secondary. They're going to be bringing blitzes all night long. And this guy right there, Bill Belichick, he knows his stuff, and he knows how to confuse quarterbacks.
Belichick, the coach in waiting when Parcells decides he's had enough. It's in Bill's deal. He is the Jets' next head coach. And that's a bad kick as Johnson spins one that stops at the 42-yard line.
And that was indicative of how difficult it is to punt in the wind right there.
Low and left to right as you look at it. Early second quarter, no score, 28-yard boot. And tonight by Southwest Airlines. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. Monday Night Football in Foxborough. Breezy. Temperature at game time 42. Wind out of the north at about 15.
Now they're going with the wind. They have good field position. Let's see if he puts it up right here.
And Lucas will on his first pass. He hits for a bet, and Rain has to make the catch backing up. And is tackled at the 46. He bruised his hand. There was some fear last week that Corbett may have broken his hand. And remember, he missed a good part of the first part of the season because of a broken foot, but it was just a bruise.
Terrific third down receiver, a kid that came into the league 5 years ago with the aspirations of just making the football team. And the last few years, he's been playing at Pro Bowl caliber. He's certainly one of the best Jets and one of the best finds the Jets have ever had.
That was the first completion to a wide receiver by either team, and the snap goes through Lucas's legs, corralled by Martin, and it's a net loss of 1 as he gets it back up to the 46-yard line. Kevin Mawai, the center, through the legs of Lucas.
You mean this isn't one of the trick plays Bill Parcells was telling us about yesterday?
I don't think so, but
with a head snap right there, just slipped right through his hands, and Curtis Martin, aware, picks up the ball and makes something out of it.
Not the fumble Ruski. Third down and 7. Jets at the 45. Again, trips right. 3 receivers. Set to the right. And Lucas throws, and it is caught for a first down. And Keyshawn Johnson gets into the act, so it takes Keyshawn about 17 minutes and 20-some-odd seconds before he makes his first catch. He's tackled by Sowenga.
Now, Bill Parcells might be calling the plays, but Charlie Weiss is the one that designs them. And take a look at this, a little triangle formation. Keyshawn and Wayne cross, and then Keyshawn follows him back underneath. When you're playing a team like the Patriots who like to play a lot of zone, you flood those zones and you try to create illusions, and that's exactly what Charlie Weiss right there is able to do on that play.
Reflectively. From the 44-yard line, Lucas throwing on the run, hits Corbett at the 30-yard line, and he takes it all the way down to the 16, where Carter stops him.
So now you can see the things that Ray Lucas brings to you. He's going to run around the corner. He's not going to be worried about the pressure that's around. He's going to show good poise, and he's going to fire the ball. And it looks like now he's calming down a little bit, Al. Early on, he threw the ball a little bit high. He was a little bit nervous, and that's expected.
He's now 5 out of 8.
Take a look at this, throwing the ball on the run against the grain. Just look for number 80. He'll catch it and make a play for you.
From the 18-yard line. And they give it to Martin. Flag comes in. For the moment, it's a 2-yard pickup. Eaton stops him. Get the call in a moment from Bernie Kukar. Going to get a scuffle. Offside against New England.
Well, right now, obviously, everything going in the Jets' direction, and Pete Carroll's got to be wondering, you know, what do we have to do to get this offense moving a little bit?
Offside, 53 defense, lined up in a neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And talking to Bill Parcells yesterday, matter of fact, he said, hey, you know, we got to keep it close. We got to play a little defense. We got to play a little special teams. Maybe we make a play or two on offense. We're good enough to hang with anybody. The question is can we play 4 quarters?
Well, they're hanging with them. Offensive production tonight dominated by New York, at least to this point in the game. It's 1st and 5. Biggest threat of the game by either team here, and they give it to Martin, who's inside the 10, and he'll move the chains as he takes it to the 7-yard line. That's a first down, tackled by Andy Katzenmoyer.
And a terrific block by number 84, Fred Baxter, who was pulling from the backside, and he led Curtis Martin around the corner. Take a look right here. He's coming from the left side of your screen, number 84 underneath. Watch him lead Curtis Martin right through the hole. And that's the way you block and open a hole for your back.
From the 6, first down for the Jets. Martin. A hard yard to the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal, tackled there by Henry Thomas. We already fed Martin the ball 12 times for 61 yards.
So I guess he was just feeding us a line yesterday about not using Curtis Martin quite as much.
Well,
he's about as political as they come, Bill Parcells, isn't he?
Bill just figures out the best way to win a game, and the best way to win a game is a healthy dose of Curtis Martin.
And you could see just how slowly the Jet offense is just kind of methodically running the plays and eating up time as well.
2nd and goal. Lucas throws, then dropped. Johnson said he was held, and he may get the call as a flag down.
This is this matchup we've been talking about. Number 24, Ty Law. And also number 19, Keyshawn Johnson.
Push off on Johnson. Offensive interference.
Pass interference. Number 19 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Al, last week we had a game out in Minnesota, and you saw Randy Moss run into a stationary Deion Sanders. Now, and the call was on Deion Sanders. And look at Ty Law kind of grab Keyshawn, and Keyshawn trying to get away from him. I don't necessarily know what interference is anymore.
Yep.
I mean, if it was interference on on Deion Sanders last week in that game, when Deion Sanders was the one that had his position stationary and Randy Moss initiating the contact, how could that be offensive pass interference?
And not only that, it takes them so long after that goal. They get up to the line of scrimmage, the play clock was running down, and they have to burn a timeout. So the ball is back at the 15, and it's 2nd and goal when we come back.
You make the call. Who initiates the contact? Now watch Keyshawn Johnson's right arm go up into the neck of Ty Law, then Ty Law grabbing on. He could go either way, but literally both of them committed a penalty right there.
Exactly. Hardest call to make. Every official will tell you that. 2nd down and goal from the 15-yard line after the penalty. Lucas with good protection over the middle to Martin, who got free, and he takes it down to the 1-yard line. And Ray Lucas telling Parcells we've got that much.
And what I like about Ray Lucas on this point, he did not try to force it into the end zone and jam it into Keyshawn Johnson, who I'm sure is lobbying for passes. You know, Keyshawn Johnson is the new 7-Eleven. He's open 24 hours a day. But right here, Ray drops his sights, drops it off to Curtis Martin, give it to your running back and let him make a play for you, and that's exactly what he did there. A+ for Ray Lucas, reading the defense down here and noticing that it was a zone.
Nose of the ball directly on the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal. In a tight formation. Play action. Lucas throws wide open as Johnson for the touchdown. What a call that was.
What a terrific call. What a terrific fake by Ray Lucas. And take a look at Keyshawn Johnson, a little bit angry at that last pass interference call, but Al, it's not play action, it's run action. There are two different things here. This is a heavy play fake, and it sounds like a run. Everybody's grunting, everybody's groaning, and they're hitting in there. And the defense commits.
In a perfect running situation, 3rd and goal. That's what you figure out of a tight formation.
And play action passing is where the offensive line actually retreats and pass blocks. You don't hear the difference between the two.
You see, Bill wasn't kidding about opening it up.
He wasn't.
Who would have figured that call? John Hall for the point after. Tupa with a hold.
After this weekend in the NFL, anything is possible.
After this year in the NFL, anything is possible. Right. We know that. 8:47 to the half. Jets take the lead in Foxborough, 7-0. Season in Green Bay's camp, and then when Testaverde got hurt, they moved him in. Now he's back out. Not only out, he's the number 3 quarterback right now, because Tom Tupa, who is the punter, is the number 2 quarterback. And if you went to Meyer before the 4th quarter, you'd lose Tupa. So they need Lucas to stay healthy. The kickoff taken at the 2 inside the goal line, 2 yards in, and Kevin Falk, the rookie out of LSU, being chased by Hall, and finally being chased and caught from behind inside the 10 by Marcus Coleman, to the utter disgust of Bill Parcells.
All week long, he's been singing the praises of his special teams, and right now they let him down, and Kevin Falk makes a statement. But how about Marcus Coleman catching Kevin Falk from behind? Where did he come from?
To save the touchdown. Ooh. 2 yards in. This is the kid picked out of the second round, in the second round, out of LSU.
You got to wrap up if you're going to make the tackle, and Chris Hayes, one of their best special teams players, number 30, didn't do it.
Now first and goal from the 8, and Terry Allen takes the ball to the 5. Second and goal.
It's interesting, we should point out that number 30, Chris Hayes, made an outstanding special teams play last week against the Arizona Cardinals, and one of the best special teams plays that Bill Parcells has said that he's ever seen. And this week he comes back and he misses the tackle. He had him dead to rights right there on the 25-yard line.
Took it 3 yards in the end zone officially and runs it back 95. It is second down and goal from the 5. On the ground, and Allen goes nowhere. There's a marker down. Cox makes the hit.
Illegal motion this time on the Patriots. Out last year we were here on Monday night. It just seemed like this was the game that kind of catapulted the Jets on their run to the AFC Championship game, and it was a game where it was nip and tuck all the way until the 4th quarter, but the Jet defense.
No motion, 2 men on the offense in the backfield moving. Penalty is declined.
But the Jet defense played a spirited game last year. They got a bunch of turnovers, and you can see the way that they're playing now. If they hold them here to a field goal, or better yet, a turnover, what a statement they're making. And there's Brian Cox, their leader.
Third down and goal, and a very key play coming up here at the 5-yard line. Allen and Warren in this split back alignment. Glenn in the slot, Jefferson outside. That's Warren in motion. And Bledsoe on third and goal throws over the middle, and it's caught at the 1-yard line as Terry Allen makes the catch, and the touchdown is prevented by Omar Stoutmeyer. The crowd, as any crowd, wants the coach to do. They want him to go for it.
And they're going to go for it. And the interesting thing here, I think Pete Carroll senses that he's got to get in the end zone and try to regain the momentum a little bit.
It is 4th and goal at the 1.
Al, I don't know about this. If they score, great. He looks like a hero. But
sure. I agree with you. I kicked the field goal.
If he doesn't,
they don't get it. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. It's 7-0. It's early in the game.
And look at this defense. Look how excited they are, and look at the kind of way that the New England offense is moping around you. The one thing you don't want to do is give the opposing team the momentum on a play like that.
They put Jason Wilkes, 91, in for some bulk, and that's exactly what they needed. They stop him. The Patriots with a dubious move going for it on 4th and goal. After the great run back by Falk, they come up with 0, and the Jets with a 7-0 lead in the ball at their own 2-yard line.
I wouldn't doubt if he takes one shot here going down the sideline.
Got a 4-receiver set and a single back, and the Patriots are going to blitz, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. It's caught by Wayne Corbett, who is taken down by Steve Israel.
Al, what I will tell you now, if Bill Parcells is back here allowing him to throw, Ray Lucas to throw, it shows you how much confidence he has in him. Take a look at what he did in his last series here. This was the run against, throwing it against the grain to Wayne Corbett, and then the touchdown pass to Keyshawn Johnson. Looks like he's in total control, and he looks like he's doing exactly what Bill Parcells wants him to do, to inspire his teammates.
8 out of 11. Second down and 6 from the 6-yard line, and the ball is handed off to Curtis Martin, who goes nowhere with 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. Patriots are used to playing close games this season.
So are the Jets.
Yeah. Jets, as we mentioned, 3 losses in the last 30 seconds. Parcells in his entire career with the Giants and the Patriots and the Jets until this year had lost a total of only 2 games in all of those years in the last 30 seconds.
Right. You know, in a few of those games they probably should have won, and a little bit better clock management, a little bit better play calling. The Jets, heck, who knows, they could even have a winning record right now. That's how close their losses have been.
3rd and 7, and they just do get the play off. Lucas buys time. Lucas throws deep, and a diving catch by Corbett at the 34-yard line, laying out, stretching out, catches it on his fingertips. Great play.
How great is it to have Wayne Corbett back on your team, who's missing at the beginning of the year? He's made catches like this in his 5-year career. Just makes him look routine. That's the type of player he is. And what I like here is Lucas's accuracy on this play, and look at that catch. Just put it near him and he'll make the catch for you. Now the question is, did he catch it? Ooh. Snap the ball, get the ball, hike it. Who cares?
Too late for a challenge. 1st and 10 to the 34. Oh, wait a minute, not too late. If they snapped the ball, if they would have snapped the ball a little more quickly,
right.
But all of a sudden, Kukar was buzzed, in a manner of speaking.
Got to make it quick, man.
So the buzzer goes off. Now Kukar goes over to confirm that Carroll wants to challenge it.
Watch the ball here, and let's see if it hits the ground.
New England has challenged the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
And this is a very big call, because that was a 3rd down play from the 6-yard line. So if the challenge is upheld, it's 4th down and the Jets punt. Of course, the crowd encouraging Kukar. Kukar has a long way to roam to get over to the monitor.
There's a referee of the 90s. Turn that hat on.
Turn that hat back.
Way to go, Bernie.
Look at this. It's from the hood. Look at that. He's from the hood going under the hood right now.
And here we are looking at our coaches through the hood. All right.
That is an unbelievable sound.
Look at now we have the time. Now we have the time clock and everything right down here. Look at this. We're getting fancy. So what do you think, Al? Does he overturn it?
I think he does. Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, looking on with hope.
Now, you know, if you ask Wayne Corbett whether or not he caught it, he's going to tell you he caught it. But let's take a look here again. Can't tell whether or not his hand's underneath there or not.
I thought the other look may have been more conclusive or more definitive.
Take a look at it. His right hand, is it underneath the ball? It looks like his left hand is underneath the ball. It's close.
All right, Kukar well within the time limit.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground. The pass is incomplete. There is no charge timeout to New England.
Well, these are the reasons why we have instant replays, to make sure significant plays
They got it right
correctly, and they did get it right.
They got it right, yeah. And Bob Kraft exalts a huge play. Instead of a 1st down for the Jets up near the 40-yard line, it's 4th down from their own 6.
And we talked about Tom Tupa, the punter of the Jets. He's having a great year. The special teams coverage units are having a great year. His net is almost 40 yards a punt, which is an enormous number for a punter in this league.
Two of the best ever on Monday night in his Monday Night Football, the portion of his career. On this evening, 46.2-yard average.
So that when we vote for all-time Monday Night Football team, would we vote for him?
Well, right now he'd be in the lead. But this one is a duck, but it's a well-placed duck, fielded at the 42-yard line by Troy Brown. And Brown brings it back to the 50-yard line. So who were the best ever to play Monday Night Team, Boomer?
Well, I would vote for myself, but I didn't play that many games on Monday night. I think I had about 6 or 7, I think. But
Right.
I would say Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, all those guys had great games.
Bledsoe to the 40-yard line. It is caught there by Glenn, and Terry Glenn is inside the 30 to the 23. So that challenge has turned the whole game around right now. Sean Jefferson with a block to help spring him,
With a
and
terrific
26-yard
block.
pickup.
With an absolutely terrific block by Sean Jefferson that gets Glenn a few extra yards.
Here we are over 25 minutes into the game, and that's the first pass caught by a New England wide receiver.
Take a look at the pass protection for Drew Bledsoe. Look at that clean throwing lane. There's Steve Atwater unable to make the tackle. And right there at the bottom and top of your screen, Sean Jefferson laid out a great block.
At the 23-yard line. Bledsoe throws, and that is caught, and that is Ben Coates making the catch to the 16-yard line. Patriots on the move. I suspect when we vote for the all-time Monday Night Team, Boomer, to look like voting for the all-time team period over the last 30 years.
Absolutely. There have been some great performances, Al, and certainly when I talk about quarterbacks, you have to think about Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Brett Favre, so many guys, John Elway. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. I don't necessarily know if there truly is one.
It's taken inside the 15, a little short of the first down.
But we might have our punter here, Tom Tupa, right?
Well, there are guys who have certainly enhanced their careers with tremendous Monday night performances. Seth Joyner a few years ago, Philadelphia at Houston.
How about Bo Jackson running down the sideline? Tony Dorsett, 99.5.
Exactly.
Right? Earl Campbell.
Jerome Bettis, as good as he is, seems to save his best for Monday night as well. And in fact, there's a kid who made one of the most spectacular catches in his, I can't even think of his name, who was playing with the Giants as a strike player in '87. It was voted one of the 5 greatest plays in the history of Monday night.
That doesn't count.
Jason Ferguson jumped here.
72 defense.
That's a first down.
Penalty, that results in the first down.
I would think if you're voting for offensive linemen, you'd have to vote for offensive linemen who played on winning teams, I would imagine, right?
Normally, sure.
I mean, because if you, like, let's say you have a Hall of Famer like Anthony Munoz who played on the Cincinnati Bengals. Great player, had every Monday night game I ever played with him, he was great. But unfortunately, we weren't on that many times.
He was pretty good on Sundays.
He was.
Thursdays, whenever.
How about Lawrence Taylor for the Giants?
At the 9-yard line on first down. Bledsoe throws. Flag is thrown. Jefferson reaches for it and can't make the catch. At the moment, trying to sell the officials and coming down with it in the end zone.
It looks like they're going to call it on Aaron Glenn, I believe.
Illegal contact.
Illegal contact. 31 defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But down here, defensive backs and wide receivers, the area is constricted a little bit. You don't have as much room. There's a lot more bumping going on. Officials will let you get away with a little bit, but they're going to watch it, especially if you're a defensive back knocking a wide receiver off of his route.
Allen and Floyd are in the backfield together, and Allen takes it on first and goal and gets bunched up at the 4-yard line. Ferguson is there, along with Roman Pfeiffer. It'll be second and goal with the 2-minute warning approaching. So Bledsoe will go over and talk it over with Carroll. Zampese will make the call as we come to the 2-minute warning in Foxborough. 2 minutes to the half, and New York on top, 7-0. Updated standings with the
I imagine Virginia Tech is going to be pretty happy about whatever takes place.
You know where I was this weekend? Nebraska, Kansas State. Have you, Lincoln, Nebraska, a football game is unbelievable. A sea of red, as loud as any stadium I've ever been in.
Second down and goal here. In a sea of blue, it is Bledsoe throwing, and it is not caught as Green was covering Rutledge. Rutledge looked like he had it on his fingertips and couldn't bring it in.
Drew definitely got away with one there. Interesting play design, trying to bring Ben Coates back underneath the other tight end and picking off Victor Green, but the ball got there late, and Drew had to hold his breath watching Victor Green almost picking this ball off. One of the good things that Drew Bledsoe has been doing this year, no interceptions. He's got 4 in the games that he's played, and he's been smart, especially down here in the red zone.
Out of the gun now on third down and goal. Jets rush 4. Bledsoe throws over the middle into a lot of traffic and incomplete. He tried to get it into Coates, but there were 2 Jets in front of Coates. And it's fourth down. Pfeiffer and Ray Mickens were both there.
Now, what can you say about the Jet defense just hanging in there? It's interesting the way that they're covering Coates. It looks like they're keeping a guy underneath him and a guy above him. And take a look at him here, number 87 coming to the middle of the screen. 2 guys right here mauling him. And what Drew's trying to do is throw the ball. He should have thrown it high, not letting it the butt of Pfeiffer. So give the guy a chance to make a play on it.
Coverage by Muggy. 23-yard field goal attempt by Adam Vinatieri, and that's good.
Well, if you're the Jets, if you're the Jets, you have to be happy. Your defense is playing well, keeping you in the game, and you're almost to halftime.
7-3 Jets. To you by Al Michaels, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser in Foxborough, where the Jets, who are 2-6, are leading the 6-2 Pats 7-3 with 1:46 to go in the opening half. Glenn and Stone are back for the Jets, and Vinatieri to kick. Very short kick into the wind, and Aaron Glenn from the 15 breaks it to the outside. Brown chases him down and chases him out of bounds up at the 43-yard line, where he runs right into Chad Eaton.
Again, here you go. Great field position for Ray Lucas in the offense of the New York Jets. Ball on the 42-yard line. Special teams answering the call, with the exception of the one run back that Kevin Falk had. This is the blueprint that Bill Parcells was hoping for, and they have the wind behind them now.
They have 2 timeouts. They have nobody in the backfield. It's vacant. They have 5 receivers in this alignment. Lucas and Malloy coming up, showing blitz and then backing off into coverage. And Lucas sprinting to his left to buy time. Throwing for Johnson, and Keyshawn is able to haul it in. Ty Law with the coverage, and Keyshawn makes the catch at the 41.
And you talk about a great throw, a right-handed quarterback rolling to his left and throwing against the grain of his body, and I mean delivering a strike. So certainly Bill Parcells has seen something in Ray Lucas over the years to give him the reins, and look at this throw. Ooh, what a nice throw.
Perfect ending to the play, because he gets out of bounds. They can serve the timeout. The clock stopped with 1:33. First down at the 41-yard line.
Keyshawn lined up at fullback.
And now in motion. The fake to Martin. Pressure. Pass is caught by Martin, and he can't get out of the grasp of Henry Thomas. It's a loss back to the 47-yard line. And now New York takes its second timeout.
And you talk about a smart play by a smart player. Henry Thomas did just that. They faked the ball to Curtis Martin, roll away from him and try to screen back, and Henry Thomas sniffed it out from the beginning. Well, when you're a 13-year vet, well, you should be able to sense those things, and I'm sure that he has seen that they have run this play on film many a times. And one of the things that Charlie Weiss likes to do as the offensive coordinator is create deception. And you have to stay at home if you're a defensive player, and you have to take your reads and go for the plays that you think are happening, and that's exactly what Henry Thomas did.
On the world champion and staggering Broncos, who today lost another starter, Eric Brown, for the season.
Can't say enough about Rich Gannon playing with a broken left wrist. He's out there taking snaps and throwing touchdown passes. And maybe, just maybe, the Oakland Raiders have woken up a little bit. 5-4 as they go into next Monday night's game. Second down and 16.
Lucas against the grain again. That's caught by Corbett, and Wayne will get out of bounds to conserve some time with 1:16. But shy of the first down by about 5 yards.
So you wonder how the Keyshawn Johnson-Ty Law matchup is going. Watch this. This is 2 past MVPs of the Pro Bowl last year. Co-MVPs going at it, and he's making tackles. And it's not always about interceptions as a defensive back. Making those tackles and making those important plays when you have the opportunity to make them.
Jets spread it out. 3rd and 5. A key play from the 36, and they give it to Martin. He gets the first down, and a whole lot more. In fact, he gets a touchdown. On a 3rd and 5, running out of the spread formation with the ace back. The big hole for Curtis Martin, and the ex-Patriot puts them up by 10 going on 11. 36-yard run, and there's an injured Jet. That's Jason Fabini, who's down back at the 43-yard line and in agony. And McGinnis is in a different kind of agony.
Now you have your young quarterback back there making plays in the passing game, and all of a sudden everybody gets jacked up to try to get some sacks in a 2-minute drill, and you run a little draw. Watch Chris Slade, number 53, run right past it. And what you're trying to do when you run a draw play like this is play to the defensive's aggressiveness, and that's exactly what they did. And Chris Slade overran the play, and Curtis Martin, really all he had to do was just take it all the way to the house. And Katzenmoyer gets caught inside. The defensive linemen are thinking pass, and that's exactly when you have the right play on against the right defense.
Curtis Martin, 14 carries, that's 96 yards and a touchdown. This is a tremendous injury right now in terms of what the Jets can do for the rest of the game. I mean, a very impactful one, because you've got Jumbo Elliott with a bad back. He was a game time decision in uniform but hasn't played. Fabini taking his spot on the left side, 2 rookies on the right side, and by the looks of that scene, Fabini at least done for the night, you would think.
Interesting, talking to Jumbo Elliott on the sideline, I said, could you play if you had to? And he said, Boomer, if I have to go in there, I'll just do it. I'll figure it out. And there is Jumbo right there. And he's had some back problems in the past, and the last couple of days I was told that he had a hard time getting up onto the bus yesterday. But take a look at some of these reactions. There's Ray Lucas. He can sense it's a touchdown. And take a look at the other side, and there's Pete Carroll, knowing that his team was blitzing in a passing situation and they got caught. And that's the frustrating part of trying to match up your defense versus an offense and vice versa when the other team has such a play that works so well.
John Hall snapped a little high, but Tupa gets it down, and Hall's kick is good with 1:09 remaining in the first half. It is 14-3 to New York. What's happening at halftime? Chris Berman.
All right, Al, thank you. Coming up on our Toyota halftime show, our top 10, which includes big, and I mean big, guys dancing, little guys scampering, 100 pounds of clay, a Great Dane, a Headless Saint, and the breakaway Colts again, plus an important change in the BCS standings. See you then, guys.
All right, Chris, as the New York Jets in Foxborough have a 14-3 lead. The Jets 2-6, and the only team really out of it is Bledsoe keeps warm on the sideline. The only team out of it in the AFC East. Clearly the best of the divisions in the NFL. In fact, if the Pats win tonight, 4 teams in this division will have 7 victories in their first 10 or fewer games. I say fewer because Indy and Miami have only played 9. There are the standings right now.
Take a look at this. If the Pats win tonight, they're tied for first. If they lose, then they go down to 4th place. Right? Interesting how good this is. And here is Jason Fabini taking off. That's Dr. Elliot Pellman, the medical director for the New York Jets, taking him into the locker room.
Kick taken at the goal line by Kevin Falk, who ran the last kickoff back 95 yards. Flags come in at the end of the play.
And you're going to have holding this time on the New England Patriots, which is going to put them in poor field position. And I can't imagine the Patriot offense opening it up this deep in their own zone against the wind.
Going against the wind.
Holding.
They have 2 timeouts.
37 on the return team on the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brad Seeley, who had been at Carolina as the Panthers special team coach, now here.
Here's Jason Fabini going against Willie McGinnis. Let's take and this is how good Willie McGinnis is playing, when he can take a big man like that and throw him to his back and hurt him at the same time. How valuable is Willie McGinnis going to be for this team the rest of the season?
First down pass from the 15, 61-6 left and 2 timeouts. And Bledsoe into the wind, going deep and short, intended for Jefferson and picked off by Marcus Coleman. So the ball hangs in the wind, and Coleman brings it back to the 36-yard line, where he nearly had it stripped, but it goes out of bounds with 48 seconds remaining in the half.
And now that's what I was talking about, being careful going against that gusting wind, and you could see that ball just hung up there. If it was the other way around, he would have had enough to be able to get it over the defenders of the New York Jets, but that wind just sucked that ball down and brought it right to Marcus Coleman. He's got a strong enough arm, but when you're throwing against the wind like this and you're putting the ball high in the air, it's going to float on you.
And so the Jets now at the 36-yard line. They have 1 timeout, but let's take a look at the composition now of their offensive line. Bledsoe shaking his head in frustration. Jumbo Elliott has to come in.
Oh, and he's not a happy guy right now, let me tell you.
On the left side. From the 36-yard line, Lucas throws. That's caught by Corbett. They're in field goal range. He's out of bounds at the 21-yard line with 43 seconds remaining.
Al, when you spread a defense out like the way the Jets are doing right now, if the defense decides not to blitz and play man-to-man underneath, guys like Wayne Cabret can beat anybody in football. And that's a matchup that you want if you're the New York Jets. And I'm telling you, Ray Lucas looks great. He's dropping back, he's planting his feet, and he's delivering the ball on time. These were things that Rick Meyer wasn't doing when he was playing quarterback for the Jets.
That's been his favorite target. He's caught 5 tonight. Play clock ticking down. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. And they give the ball to Richie Anderson, and Anderson takes it to the 11-yard line. About the last guy they expected to carry it, Teddy Bruschi. Now the Jets will conserve their timeout, and they will spike the ball at the 11 on a 1st down. So that stops the clock with 27 seconds. They have a 2nd down. They can get a 1st down without a touchdown. The ball at the 11. Or just inside, about the 10.5. And the crowd right now, very quiet in Foxborough. (14-3). Lucas checking his wristband.
And he better hurry up. He's got 13 seconds on the down clock, and he's got to get him in and out of the huddle.
2nd down, 10.
And here we go, spreading him out again.
In the vacant backfield, 5 receivers, including Quinn Early. And on 2nd down and 10, reaching for it is Quinn Early, and the officials look at each other. They haven't made the call yet.
Well, I can tell you we can replay this, baby.
Well, we will. We know that, but let's see what the call is first. I haven't seen the call yet.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete
All right,
pass.
so now they're ruling it's an incomplete pass, but they had to go to Bernie Kukar to make the call.
This is awfully close, I'll tell you, almost. And it looks like that his right hand was underneath it. Let's take a look at it. Watch this. It's a terrific catch. That's a catch, Al. Al, that's a catch. That's a touchdown.
Now it's not reviewable by a coach here.
No,
it can only be stopped by the replay official. If he wants to look at it, he has to buzz Kukar.
I cannot.
Well, they're not even going to look at it. They looked at it. Now they are going to look at it. Okay. Every time we think they're not going to look at something. All right, we'll give you the most definitive look.
We are reviewing the ruling on the field.
This is a very tough call to make.
Right here.
Has it?
That's a touchdown right there. Touchdown. I think his hand is under it.
That's the key. Yeah.
That looks like his hand is under it now. I don't know about the front, but if that's the most definitive view, then you have to say.
Again, it's the indisputable visual evidence. This is up to Kukar now to make the call. We already had a challenge that was upheld. Turned out to be a very key play, working in the Patriots' favor. Kukar right now, before he takes a look at the play, is in consultation with the replay officials. They're going to, he's going to explain to them and vice versa what they thought. Now he's going to take a look at the play.
I mean, you look at it from this angle, does the point of the ball, that's a touchdown.
Ooh, boy, that is. I hate the hedge, but I got to tell you, this is a tough one. This is, well, there's the ball coming down.
Yeah, but his hand is underneath it, his left. Now the question is he going to be able to see that?
Yeah.
And say that it's indisputable, but right here.
Looks like a little of the ball is, well.
Right, now, if he looks at that right there, that's a catch. So when he's looking at him, it's a fast one.
After reviewing the play, it is incomplete. The ball hit the ground.
I don't know. Well, that's what he sees. And
yeah, that was the original call on the field.
But I will say to you that that ball did not hit the ground.
Well, they felt it wasn't indisputable, and so after all that, with 24 seconds left in the half, now the Patriots are going to take a timeout. The Jets have one timeout.
That's their second charge timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
It's going to be third down, 10 for the first and 10 and a half for the touch.
Al, I think the Patriots got a break there.
Yeah,
but I can understand where, you know, Bernie Kukar, the referee, is in there and he's looking. He's probably not seeing. And there's.
The Jets, meanwhile, have no timeouts. Not the one because of the injury to Fabini in the last 2 minutes of the half that cost them a mandatory timeout. So it's third down.
So now if you're Ray Lucas, with no timeouts, if you're Ray Lucas, you have to be careful here. No sacks, throw the football away. With Bill Parcells, if there is a sack, Patriots going to call timeout again, it looks like.
There is no charge timeout. You cannot have consecutive timeouts.
No, you can't. But the interesting thing there is that they actually stop the play, and they allow the Patriot defense to reset themselves. There's no penalty against the Patriots. It doesn't make any sense.
Right, for calling consecutive timeouts, which you can't do. Third down, it's a technical in basketball. However, third down and 10, and Lucas into the end zone, and it is caught. It is caught by Fred Baxter, the tight end. Baxter wrapped up in the end zone. The coverage was good, but the pass was into Baxter, and he makes it 20-3, going on 21.
Al, how good does Ray Lucas look? He puts the ball right where you want it, down low, in the body, gives his player a chance to shield Lawyer Malloy, the safety, covering Baxter. And watch this pass, and watch how it's in the body of the receiver. Ray Lucas looks good, looks solid, he looks sharp, and he looks definitive in the way he wants to throw the football.
Ball with the point after, with 20 seconds left. And the Patriot fans must be thinking, ain't this a fine kettle of tuna?
Well, we saw some crazy things happen yesterday, didn't we? And they continue to happen in this league. And take a look at this, a nicely thrown ball, and Baxter does a real nice job of being able to shield him, put himself in between the defender and the football, and hold on to it. And how happy is Ray Lucas? This is why Bill Parcells likes this kid. It's because of that emotion right there and the way his teammates respond to him. I talked to him on Friday. He sounded confident. He was ready to go.
Whatever Pete Carroll says to his team at the half, he should say the same thing he said in week 2 when Indianapolis led the Patriots 28-7. And Carroll's team came from behind and won to 31-28.
Two things. They went for it on 4th and goal instead of kicking the field goal. And really that last 2-minute drill, throwing the ball down the sideline for a long pass against the wind, ill-advised.
2 killers. Ball's kicked. fielded at the 2-yard line.
This I don't understand either, kicking it off like this.
Kevin Falk. And he's tackled at the 30-yard line with 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Well, last week we were in Minnesota, a game dominated in the first half by Dallas, and then all of a sudden, after the Aikman injury, completely, and the Smith injury, completely dominated by Minnesota.
The difference is that Dallas fumbled at the end of the first half, and it gave Minnesota life. It gave them an opportunity to get a touchdown. The Jets defense and their offense have really played exceptionally well tonight, especially this defense.
And they'll just run out the clock to end the first half. Lamont Warren. And they may be 6-2, but as far as the crowd is concerned, as is the crowd in just about every venue these days, what have you done for me lately? So they get booed off the field with the score 21-3 Jets. Coming up, the Toyota halftime show when we come back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC. Falk is back to receive. John Hall kicking into the wind. The liner caught at the 9-yard line by Falk. Kevin ran one back 95 in the first half, tackled here at the 31. Let's get an update from Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, on both coaches in the locker room of the Patriots, it was very businesslike, no yelling. Willie McGinnis said he is sore. He's over on a bicycle behind the bench now. He hopes to return. Bill Parcells says, I have seen this before. This was a lot tougher than it looked. He said, I know Drew Bledsoe. We're going to expect at least 50 passes, Al.
Well, Bledsoe in the first half threw only 11.
Yeah.
He was 5 of 11 for 51 yards. And from the 31-yard line, he starts on the ground here with Terry Allen nudging the ball up to the 35. First half dominated by New England. The crowd already begins to boo. They want Bledsoe to throw on every play.
They are impatient here in New England.
God forbid,
no question.
God forbid they should try to show any form of a ground game down by 18.
They didn't listen to me at halftime. Just relax, get back to your game plan, and don't push it.
Key figures, the total yards, more than a 3-to-1 ratio in favor of the Jets. All of the scoring in the second quarter. 2nd and 7 from the 34-yard line. And to the ground again to Allen, who breaks a tackle, comes out of the backfield to the 38. The only oddity here right now is the Patriots in the third quarter are going with the wind. And does any coach use the wind better than Parcells?
Well, you know, when you play in the Meadowlands and you play up here in Foxborough, you have to get used to using the wind. And right now with the lead 21-3, knowing that Drew Bledsoe's on the other side, he wants to make sure that in the fourth quarter, if he has to kick a field goal with the wind, he wants it at his back as opposed to Adam Vinatieri's back. This is interesting, this new huddle configuration right here.
3rd down and 3 from the 38. Looks like a white concoction. Bledsoe nearly gets sacked, then takes off, slides to a stop at the 46-yard line. Should have been caught in the backfield. Victor Green came in on the safety blitz and couldn't corral him.
I was talking about it earlier, Al, when you blitz back here and you are a defensive back or a linebacker, you have to come in under control, and Victor Green is one of the harder hitting safeties in all of football. He just came through out of control, and Drew Bledsoe's so big and strong, he just kind of swung him off. So a big play right there, and it didn't seem that significant, but he keeps the Patriots moving.
It is the first 3rd down conversion for New England tonight in 6 attempts. Now Bledsoe airs it out, going deep, jump ball intercepted by Marcus Coleman, his second. He hung it up at Bledsoe intended for Glenn, and Coleman, who has replaced Mickens in the starting lineup for the Jets at right corner, picks it off.
What a terrific play by Marcus Coleman. You have Terry Glenn, you got to throw it deep. He's not Randy Moss. He's not going to go up and get it. He's going to go run after it.
Crowd at the moment at Foxborough. Their team, down 21-3. Marcus Coleman, 2 interceptions tonight, 4 for the year. Jumbo Elliott starts at left tackle. And it is dropped by Lucas. He couldn't get a handle on the snap from Mawai. And then just has to fall on it back at the 8-yard line.
Al, on the last interception, Marcus Coleman, that was his second of the game against the Denver Broncos early this year. He had 2. And he is starting because Otis Smith is out for the year. He's injured. He's on the IR. And it's basically also replacing Ray Mickens, who was the starter inside of the last few weeks and basically has kind of fallen off. And take a look at the QB comparison right there. Those two interceptions by Marcus Coleman, two big plays.
Go figure. I mean, you look at that comparison on 2nd and 14, a wobbly pass, and Corbett reaches for it and drops it and is down. 3rd down and 14. Report on Fabini is a sprained knee, will not return. Left knee. So you have Elliott with a bad back, and it's just what you need with a bad back, a 40-degree night.
Right, exactly, and going against Chris Slade. Not a nice thing to have happening tonight, but if you are the defense of the New England Patriots, you have to stop them here. You need a big stop right here and force a punt into the win and give your offense good field position, maybe even a turnover right here.
3rd down and 14. And they give the ball to Richie Anderson, and Anderson can only get it up to the 14, so they do get the stop they need. And now the Jets with Tupa will punt into the wind.
I was talking to Tom Tupa before the game. I said, what do you do to punt into the wind? He says, now you really want to just drive it. You don't want to try to lay it up there in the wind because obviously the wind's going to knock it back. I will try to drive the football, and what that should do should give the returner for the New England Patriots an opportunity to get a good return. And there's the drive.
And it's a returnable kick for Troy Brown from the 41-yard line. But very good coverage by the Jets, and he is thrown to the ground by Ulrich Johnson. Mike Sweatman pretty happy about that coverage right there with 11:27 left in the 3rd, and New York on top by 18. Some enhanced offense here. Bledsoe's last 2 passes have been picked off. He starts here with a completion into Jets territory, caught by Terry Glenn, who's had a relatively silent night. Only his 2nd grab of the evening for 37 yards total, stopped by Cox.
What the Jets are doing to Drew Bledsoe is they are blitzing, they're leaving zones open, and if he could just find the time to settle down and find those guys in the zone just like he did there, they'll be able to move the ball. He's just got to find and pick out the right guy, and he should be smart enough to see the defense and where the openings are.
From the 47-yard line, Jefferson in motion. Bledsoe surveys and over the middle, and he finds Glenn again. So back-to-back grabs by Glenn. That's an 11-yard gain and a 1st down at the New York 36.
And now back-to-back blitzes. They're bringing another middle linebacker through the line of scrimmage. They're trying to get pressure, and there is Terry Glenn, who's having an outstanding year for the Patriots, but they're trying to get pressure on Drew Bledsoe. And I sense that Bill Parcells knows that's the weakness. Get to the quarterback early, often, and make him uncomfortable.
Now back to the ground they go, and that's Allen with a nice move through the middle to the 28-yard line. That's a gain of make it 9 as they spotted at the 27 and sets up a 2nd and 1.
And as I said at halftime, that just be patient, take your time, stay within the framework of your offense, don't force anything. The last play he forced the deep ball to Terry Glenn, and now all of a sudden they're back into the rhythm of their offense. A good solid run by Terry Allen and 2 solid pass completions to Terry Glenn.
Come up in the eye. Allen the tailback. And on 2nd and 1 they give it to Allen, and Allen is able to move forward for a 1st down to the 25-yard line. So that'll move the change with 9.5 to go in the 3rd.
I'll never forget Sam Weish, one of my old head coaches, telling me at halftime of one of our games where we were just totally out of sync. He said, you know what? We're going back to basics. We're going back to what you guys know, what you can do, and we're just going to ram it down your throat until you start feeling comfortable and gaining rhythm. And I can see that that's what Ernie Zampese is doing right now with the New England Patriots.
Ernie's been to the rodeo a few times.
He sure has.
1st and 10 from the 25. Good protection, and then has it intercepted at the 15-yard line. It is picked off by Marvin Jones, who earlier had his 1st sack since '97. Flagged down at the end of the play, and Bruce Armstrong is down at the end of the play.
It's going to be holding on to New England Patriots. The interception will stay on Marvin Jones. I talked about earlier in the night what kind of player Marvin Jones can be.
Birdie offense. Penalty has declined. 1st down.
He's had a huge sack tonight and now a pick, and this is basically sitting in the pocket waiting and waiting and waiting, and Marvin Jones right in the middle of your screen. There he is right there, just reading the eyes of the quarterback.
Triple whammy, an interception, a penalty on Carter, and Armstrong limps off the field, and they're down by 18. Ball at the 25-yard line. Drew Bledsoe has been picked off 3 times tonight. That last interception was the first of Marvin Jones's career. Now the Jets start from the 30-yard line, and they give the ball to Curtis Martin, and Martin takes it up to the 33. It'll be second down at 3:30 Eastern time. 2nd and 7. Curtis Martin on the cusp of a 100-yard evening, 15 carries for 99 yards. And Lucas throws, and it's caught by Corbett, and he is tackled by Israel at the 39-yard line, a little short of the first down.
And you watch Ray Lucas in the pocket, calmly just delivering the football, knowing where he wants to go with the ball, making the decision, putting touch on the ball, all the things that Bill Parcells wants out of his quarterback that he hasn't been getting. Look at that nice throw right out in front, gives Wayne a chance to go after and get it and make a few extra yards after the catch.
And number 2 rookies on the offensive front. The injury to Fabini, and Lucas has been sacked. Not at all. Not once. Little toss back to Martin. The design play, and up for the first down as Martin is out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, they ran that play earlier. Same kind of success. Smart, easy, get it to your best back, get him outside. Kind of fake inside to draw the defense along to your fullback, and Bill Parcells is calling a smart game tonight, and he is just giving his quarterback opportunities to make plays now all of a sudden. And the more Lucas makes plays, the more opportunities Bill will get him. And there you see Curtis Martin over 100 yards again tonight.
1st and 10, the ball at the 42-yard line. Fumble again, and Lucas for the 2nd time unable to handle a snap, but recovers it himself.
We talked about the Patriots earlier in the night, talking about how balanced they are as a team, and you know their defense hasn't been as stout as Pete Carroll and Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, would like to have them. There's too many big plays happening against them. Big pass plays, big running plays. Certainly they have some stars in their defense like Ty Law, and there's the fumble right there, so you have to stay in if you're Ray Lucas. But their defense just is not really living up to their billing. And I think it's really a concern to the coaches of the New England Patriots.
2nd down and 12 from the 40-yard line, and nothing happening for Curtis Martin through the middle there. 3rd down and 12. So if the Jets win, are they worth any more money, Boomer? They're for sale. The estate of Leon Hess, with Mr. Hess dying earlier this year. Goldman Sachs handling the sale, and the feeling seems to be that we'll know who the new owners of the Jets are by the end of the year.
Well, it's an expensive property, I can tell you that. Take a look, 40-0 all time, and leading by that much at halftime. But I'm not in the bidding for them now. I'm sorry, I don't have enough money.
People seem to feel it's a $500 to $600 million purchase that's ahead. 3rd down and 12. This is Keyshawn Johnson making the catch, kicking and threading his way through the Patriots and getting the first down.
When you talk about great receivers in this league, the first person that comes to my mind, especially after a few weeks ago, is Chris Carter. But this guy has the potential to be Chris Carter, but he's an arrogant Chris Carter. He'll tell you how good he is. As where Chris Carter will tell you, you know, I'm okay, I'm pretty good. But Keyshawn Johnson certainly has the attitude that a great receiver needs. He doesn't back down. He wants the football, so much so that he wrote a book, Throw Me the Damn Ball, and they are throwing it to him, and he's making plays with it.
Lawyer Malloy shaken on the play. He comes out, the strong safety. Keyshawn last week against Arizona with the play of the game, and there is Malloy, whose spot is taken by Tony George at the 46-yard line. 1st down. Right now for the Jets, there are a lot of bidders for the team. The 3 most prominent, though, would be, as you look at the class of '96, not those guys, but some of them can afford it.
Some of those guys could probably, if they put their money together, maybe.
Right. But Keyshawn picked first, Glenn picked seventh, and Harrison having a great year, and he and Peyton Manning are linking beautifully in Indianapolis. But one of the primary bidders for the Jets would appear to be Charles Dolan, who owns Cablevision.
How do my rates go up in Long Island?
Well, you can't buy it as a corporation. You'd have to buy it as an individual or a family. The ball at the 44. And they give it to Martin for a gain of 1. There is also Robert Wood Johnson IV, who is one of the Johnson & Johnson heirs, who figures very prominently, and also the longtime Arizona real estate developer Sam Grossman, who was a serious bidder and was beaten out by Daniel Snyder in an attempt to buy the Washington Redskins this summer. Those would appear to be the three main people right now very much at the forefront in the running for the purchase of the New York Jets.
You know, the interesting thing, Al, is that the Jets don't have a stadium. They have a lease at the Meadowlands over in New Jersey that runs to the middle of somewhere around 2008 or so.
Right.
And a lot of the sale depends on the future of the stadium, I would imagine.
3rd down and 7, and this is Keyshawn Johnson, and that's enough for a first down. So on 3rd down attempted conversions in back-to-back series, it's Keyshawn who is the man they go to, and he picks up a first down.
Very impressed with the way that Charlie Weiss has designed this offense and the type of plays that they're running, and how quickly Ray Lucas is making his decisions. Look at this, 2 guys in one spot. Somebody made a mistake there. I don't know who it was. It almost looks like they were trying to run the reverse route that they ran last time and made a first down on, but that's how a tough receiver makes first downs. He lowers his shoulders, knows where the spot is, and gets over the line.
Run, short pass, and what it does is it keeps the clock moving. This is almost classic Parcells. Here's Martin taking the ball inside the 30. There's a flag down. Stopped at the 28-yard line by Law, and Malloy was back in the game.
Now also it gives your defense a chance to rest, relax, get on the sideline, go over any last-minute adjustments, and it inspires them as well. You know, it makes them better. And this is something that the Jets haven't gotten since Vinny Testaverde left.
Keyshawn holding his left or right wrist. Penalty is against the Patriots.
Illegal use of hands. 21 defense. And 5 yards to the end of the run. First up.
Steve Israel hands to the face.
It's so much easier to play defense when you are ahead. You can blitz, you can make plays, you can put pressure on the quarterback. Take a look at Steve Israel, number 21, and there's the hands to the Dedrick Ward's face mask right there. It's a good call by the official. But this is, again, this is an offense that the Jets haven't seen in many weeks. Controlling the football, making plays, moving the chains, and then scoring points, the most important aspect.
Jets began this drive at their own 30, and this is caught by Johnson, and he gets wrapped up and taken out of bounds by Ty Law at the 18-yard line with 2:20 to play in the period. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Ford F-Series.
Battles. The Patriots can ill afford to lose this game because they go on the road to Miami and Buffalo in the next 2 weeks.
This is Martin. And he moves inside the 15, and that is close to a first down.
And with the way that Buffalo played yesterday and manhandled Miami, I've got to believe that right now that Indianapolis and Buffalo look like the 2 best teams in the AFC East.
Indianapolis, Buffalo, and you wonder about Marino. Look at this. This drive at the moment has consumed half the period. 7.5 minutes on this drive. By the way, Marino is on his way back to L.A. to see his doctor to determine whether Dan can begin practicing again and perhaps play this weekend.
And I wouldn't go crazy about the fact that they got hammered by Buffalo yesterday. They're still 3-1 with Damon Ewert at quarterback. So Damon Ewert is doing a great job filling in and doing what he needs to do to give that team a chance to win.
1st and 10 from the 13, and this is Martin who takes a shot. And meanwhile, Keyshawn, who was holding that wrist 3 or 4 plays ago, has now been forced out of the game, at least for the moment. Flexing that right hand. Final minute of the 3rd period. This drive began after Bledsoe had thrown the interception to Marvin Jones.
So now everything's going right for Bill Parcells. The quarter into the wind is almost over.
Right.
They have the wind at their back in the 4th quarter. You couldn't ask for a better blueprint for victory for the New York Jets up until this point anyway.
2nd and 7 from the 10. They give it to Martin. and the period will end. The Jets took over with 8:52 left in the third. They have run out the clock in the third. They still have the ball. They're knocking on the door again, and they lead by 18. 21-3 after 3. Monday Night Football returns after this message from our ABC stations.
And now they're doing it in all different ways. First, it's Curtis Martin around the corner. Curtis Martin up the middle. Throw one to Keyshawn. Throw one to Wayne Corbett. Hit one to Fred Baxter. And now run a trap up the middle with Richie Anderson. I mean, so many guys are getting involved. And you could see number 76, Jumbo Elliott there. Give him a lot of credit coming off the bench with a sore back. Literally, it's got to be 25 degrees wind chill, don't you think? I mean, it's freezing down there, and he's out there playing with a bad back.
First and goal inside the 2. This is the 16th play of this drive. Flag. Martin goes nowhere. 2 flags.
I think you're going to have holding on the center, number 68, Kevin Mawai. He actually just got ran over, I believe, by Henry Thomas, number 98, and he took him down with him.
Holding. 68 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first off.
Not an easy place to play center down here because you're covered up. You have a guy over top of you, and all he's trying to do is to blow you up and push you back in the backfield. It's watch your center right in the middle of your line. Watch him come back. And really, at this point, you become defensive in nature, and you just pull the guy on top of you. That was Henry Thomas, number 95.
First and goal. Ball comes back to the 12-yard line out of a split-back formation. They give it to Anderson again with Martin helping to lead the way, but Richie can't go very far. Tackle just outside the 10.
And I can see from up here, Bill Parcells already telling Ray Lucas, let the clock run. Let the clock run. Be real deliberate. Take your time calling the plays. Right now, it's about 25 seconds on the down clock. This is just a way to shorten the game. These are the things that Bill Parcells told us that he wanted to do.
Vinny Testaverde looking on. The Jets have their 17th play upcoming. Most plays they run on any drive in any game this season. From the 11. Lucas rolling. And then gets tackled at the 8-yard line as Malloy comes up for the hit. He was looking for a lawyer and he found one. Third and goal.
I don't know if I'm more impressed at Ray Lucas's speed to get around the corner or the ability of Chris Slade to stay with him, to force him around the corner.
You do not see very many 11-minute drives.
And what's unique about that, you have a young quarterback. The more plays you run, the more apt they are to make mistakes, and this guy hasn't made very many tonight, if any.
Third down and goal from the 8. 12:40 left. Lucas with a lot of time, and then finally he runs out of time as the secondary does its work efficiently, and Henry Thomas helps to break up the play, so they'll settle for a John Hall field goal attempt.
Well, what I like here is you can just see him sitting in there going through his progressions, trying to make plays, and you can see that he's comfortable. Now you got to get rid of the ball. You can't hold on to it that long. Sooner or later they're going to get to you. His offensive line really protected him very well on that last play.
Had time to look for everybody but Don Maynard.
Emerson Boozer.
26-yard field goal attempt by Hall, and that is good. So it pays off. An 11-minute drive pays off with a field goal. 12:29 left in the fourth, and it's 24-3 JETS Jets. John Hall to kick off. The New York Jets have come in 2-6 into the home of the 6-2 Patriots and have dominated 24-3. Hall sends a bouncing ball to the 15-yard line where it's taken by one of the up men. And this is run back to the 43-yard line by Sabaki Jones, their #1 draft choice out of Syracuse in '98. Here comes Bledsoe with 12:19 left in the fourth. Key pace with the Seahawks in the AFC West.
With all the injuries that Denver's had this year, give them credit for staying close.
This is caught over the middle. This is Kevin Falk to the 49-yard line. 2nd and 1. Leslie, what you got?
Alan Boomer, people might have noticed the unusual neck brace that Brian Cox wears. He told me before the game he's been wearing this since 1991, his first year with the Dolphins. They were playing the Chicago Bears, and Refrigerator Perry, you'll remember he went about 320 pounds. He was on offense, and he hit Brian, knocked him out. He was out for about 12 hours. Ever since then, he's worn the neck brace, and he said he much preferred when the Refrigerator played defense. Al?
It's been his fashion statement since he came into the league, as Brown makes the last catch and a first down.
I always wondered what he was thinking about wearing that thing. Now I know. Leslie comes up with that information.
That's right. From gets it from. Inside handoff to Kevin Falk. And not only do the Patriots need to move the ball down the field, but they need to move it with alacrity, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they do. Quickly. They need to do it in a 2-minute fashion. That's what they're doing now. And Drew Stoll, he's got to be careful. He can't throw another interception right now and put the game away.
Here comes the blitz. Bledsoe has to throw as he gets hit and hits Jefferson, and he makes the catch. He is inbounds at the 23-yard line, and that's a first down.
The one thing a 2-minute drill will do for a quarterback will allow him to get him to some rhythm once he starts completing those passes, Alan. One thing Drew Bledsoe has not been in tonight is a very good rhythm. He's been trying to force the ball, especially the deep ones, and here they have an opportunity to get in the huddle, and he decided not to.
AFC's top-rated passer coming into the game, but it's been a miserable night throwing out of the end zone. Nobody home. Aaron Glenn with the coverage in the back of the end zone on Troy Brown. 2nd and 10.
It's been a miserable night. The Jets have gotten after him. They've hit him. They've blitzed him. They've confused him. And Ernie Zampese, their offensive coordinator, has got to figure out ways to get guys open. And Bill Belichick on the other side, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, has really done a masterful job of architecting this defense and giving them trouble, giving the Patriot offense trouble getting on track tonight.
2nd down and 10. Bledsoe came in with a rating of close to 100, and tonight 28.7. Bledsoe throws and has to throw that one away. 3rd down. Jet defense tonight with Belichick, the architect. Not only has the offense done its job, but 3 interceptions. Bledsoe heaving that one up at the end of the first half, and that led to a Jet touchdown. Then there was that sack by Marvin Jones, his first since '97, and then Marvin's big night continues.
I told you that was the guy I saw when he was a rookie in New York. He was explosive, and he had the ability to make plays. We've seen that tonight.
3rd down and 10. Flag is thrown. Bledsoe throws. That is caught. Glenn makes the catch, and he's tackled by Glenn. There's a certain sound, right, to it.
Of defensive offside, and right now the Jets want to just keep the ball in bounds, keep the clock moving. They still want to be aggressive. You still want to get back there. They're trying to get back there in different types of blitzes. This time the Patriots did a nice job of picking up the blitz and giving Drew Bledsoe time to throw the football.
Penalty has declined. First down.
Enough for the first down on the play, taking it to the 13-yard line. Time of possession, the Jets. Well, that's Parcells for you.
Well, at least tonight it is. And it's more than enough time for New England to get back in this game.
Bledsoe under pressure and then throws for Jefferson, and that's incomplete.
Well, like I said, you can see Brian Cox in the backfield now, and you can also see James Farrier back there. These are linebackers that line up on the end of the line to give a speed rush on the outside, and certainly they've been able to do that tonight. And it takes Drew out of his rhythm. He's not able to sit back there and survey the entire field. He knows that he has to quicken his decision-making up, and it's something that he seems to be having a lot of trouble with tonight.
2nd and 10, the ball at the 13-yard line. And Bledsoe for the corner of the end zone and broken up at the last instant, intended for Jefferson, and Marcus Coleman winning the starting job over Ray Mickens and proving why tonight with 2 picks and a nice play here.
The last time we had the Jets, it was against the Jaguars, and I was asking Bill Parcells about Marcus Coleman and how come he's not seeing the field a little bit more often. He said, well, you know what, sometimes he loses a little concentration, we have to stay on him. Well, tonight he seems like he's everywhere, and he's making the plays when he has to. And that's a terrific play by a defensive back, undercutting the wide receiver and knocking the ball away.
3rd down and 10 at the 13-yard line. 10:14 left in the 4th. Bledsoe throws with a screen is set up for Falk. Breaking tackles, takes it in for the touchdown. Imperative for New England to score on that drive, and they do.
Great call by Ernie Zampese, running a screen into the blitz of the New York Jets. The Jets have been getting close on that blitz. He recognizing it and calling the perfect play against the defense. And Drew Bledsoe and Falk and the offensive lineman, look at this, executing it perfectly. Allowing the rush to get back to you. Falk allowing the offensive line to get out front and making a touchdown run.
Omar Stoutmeyer had a would-be tackle broken by Falk on the way to the end zone. The kick is good by Adam Vinatieri. And with 10:07 remaining in the 4th quarter, the Pats still breathing as the Jet lead has been shaved to 14. 24-10. Reminder after the game, tune into ESPN's Sports Center Monday Night Football postgame show with live reports and analysis.
Well, if you're the Jets here, Al, no fumble. Secure the football and make sure you don't give it back to the Patriots quickly.
Adam Vinatieri to kick off. The 11-yard line. This is Aaron Glenn. And he brings it back to the 35. Jets setting up there with 9:57 left in the 4th. 24-10 Jets. On Sunday, Bob Kraft not only owns the Patriots, but the soccer team here, the New England Revolution, from the 35-yard line. That's caught by Johnson, and Keyshawn skirts the sideline and turns a short little pass into a touchdown.
And I think there's a flag on the field, Al, and they're going to call a pick against the New York Jets, and it's going to be against Richie Anderson. I believe that's who it is. He's outside Keyshawn Johnson. He comes running in, and almost like he sets a pick, and he blocks before Keyshawn catches the ball.
The type of play very often you will get away with without a flag.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 80.
Take a look at this. Here's Richie Anderson. He'll come up and he'll pick and block before Keyshawn catches the ball, and this is where the penalty comes. Right there. Bang. There he is, Richie Anderson making contact before Keyshawn catches the football. And it really wasn't even a pick. He wasn't picking the guy that was covering Keyshawn. He was actually picking the guy that was covering him, trying to make the tackle, Chris Carter, number 42.
So instead of a 65-yard, what would be game-ending touchdown, in effect game-ending, it is 1st down and 20 for the Jets back at the 25-yard line.
What a huge break for the New England defense.
Martin turning it back. Brings it up to the 30-yard line. He's tackled there by Lawyer Malloy.
And now what's significant about that play is you can see now the level of the defense by the New England Patriots is higher than it's been all game long. They're in the backfield, forcing Curtis Martin to turn back against the grain. And you could see somewhat of the momentum shifting here a little bit. Take a look at this defense. Look at them all pursuing. Look at McGinnis, number 55. Look at the guys in the backfield, forcing Curtis Martin to cut back.
2nd and 17 now. Huge defensive series for the Patriots, and on 2nd and 17, an end around to Johnson. That gets sniffed out, but he gets a block. It still only springs him for a couple to the 31-yard line.
Number 68, Kevin Mawai, the center of the New York Jets, just absolutely lays out number 74, Chris Sullivan, on a lookout block. Take a look at this. You usually see this on special teams. Right here, number 68, and there's Sullivan, not even aware. And keep your head on the swivel when you're out there in the open. Those defensive linemen aren't used to being out there.
Third down now and 14. Lawai waiting till they turned around so he didn't get flagged too. Third down and 14 with Parmalee now in the game at the 31-yard line. Lucas rolling to the short side of the field, going deep, and Ward was out of bounds, then comes back in, and it's incomplete. And Ward is contending that he was pushed out of bounds and forced by Steve Israel.
And now the ref is telling him that this ball was thrown way over your head. I'm not going to make a call. And my point there is that if you're a quarterback and you sense that you have your guy and Israel does hit him, you know, where are you going to throw the football? Watch this. Watch Israel push him out of bounds. And you could see Ward just absolutely. I don't blame Dedrick Ward for complaining about that.
Went to the wailing wall. Here is Tom Tupa, the punt. Fielded at the 31-yard line. And this is Troy Brown who brings it back to the 39. So the Pats still very much in it.
Absolutely.
With 8:10 left in the fourth. The Jets on top by 14. Frosty night in New England. It'll be a lot warmer though if the Patriots can somehow pull this one out. Again, they erased a 3-touchdown deficit against Indianapolis in the second week of the season. Trying to do the same tonight. They've already scored here in the fourth. They have the ball now, first and 10 at the 38, down by 14. With 8:10 to play, Bledsoe out of the gun on first down. Throws over the middle, and that's incomplete. Intended for Terry Glenn. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by...
Al, what I like about the Jet defense is they're still bringing it. They're bringing the blitzes, and Belichick is not sitting back. He's not staying in this prevent defense and allowing Drew Bledsoe to study and sit back there without a pass rush.
You know, on that ball, Falk stopped for no gain, setting up third down and 9. And this is taken in by Coach. Can Ben pick up the first down as he cuts it back? No. He is stopped at the 46, about 2 yards shy by Pfeiffer.
Roman Pfeiffer, not the Chris Pfeiffer that we know.
No, not our guy. But now the Patriots are in a position here on fourth down and 2. Down by 2 touchdowns, 7:24. They have to go for it. So out of the shotgun on a critical play right here. Jets showing blitz. Here they come. Bledsoe rolling to buy time. Throwing on the run. Contact is made. Flag is thrown. Jefferson banged into by Glenn. And that'll keep the drive alive.
Smart thing by Jefferson. That time he was on the sideline, and as he saw Drew Bledsoe coming towards him, he ran back down the sideline. Drew underthrows the football, and it forces Aaron Glenn to run up the back of Sean Jefferson to cause the interference. This is a play that you work on in practice all week long. It's called a scramble drill, and you can see Sean Jefferson on the sideline. If you were stationary right there as the quarterback comes to you on a breakdown, take off and give him a chance to throw the football. And Aaron Glenn kind of getting in a bad situation, forcing an interference.
On fourth down, that's a 23-yard penalty. It keeps New England in the game. The ball at the 31-yard line as Bledsoe retreats and throws. Caught wide open was Troy Brown over the middle. What a move. Touchdown, New England.
Parcells at the beginning of the second half told Leslie Visser that you're never out of this game and how difficult it was, and he doesn't want to give Drew Bledsoe any more opportunities because he knows that he's going to see a lot of passes, and Drew Bledsoe, true to form, is sticking it to his old coach.
Vinatieri now for the extra point. How about this? On a fourth down, they get the penalty. Brown has missed the last 3 games. He's been hurt. Back tonight with a bang. 6:58 to go, and it's a 7-point game. And they're rocking again in Foxborough.
The people who decided to stay are seeing a heck of a finish.
Some of them are coming back.
in front of the box here. Half of them were gone, and all of a sudden they're all back again.
They all reappeared. 7-point game. Vinatieri to kick off into the win, and thus it is a very short kick, fielded at the 22-yard line by Aaron Glenn. And the coverage is good as he is taken down to the 36-yard line with 6:49 to go in the fourth. The Jets trying to use the clock and preserve a 7-point lead.
Al, how did Troy Brown get so wide open? This is Ray Mickens right here. It looks like everybody else is playing man defense underneath, and Ray Mickens decides that he's going to play zone. Brown gets in when Mickens should be right next to him, and then Mickens actually gets pushed from behind by Brisby. No call. Touchdown. Mistake by Ray Mickens.
From the 36-yard line now, not sitting on the lead. Lucas throws, and off the fingertips of Richie Anderson. So they send Anderson deep. Normally that means you got to send a linebacker down there to cover him, and the pass just a little too long for him, covered by Bruschi.
It's a great call. This is the play that they opened the game with and had Richie Anderson open as well. But Lucas got hurried when he threw that football, but this shows you that Bill Parcells is not going to lay back and sit back and allow the Patriots to take the momentum over. He's got to gain it back somehow, and he's got to do it by calling plays just like this.
2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. Good protection, short pass caught for Bet out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Setting up a 3rd and 6. Israel covers on the play.
Well, you talk about the maturation of a young quarterback. Certainly Ray Lucas found himself in that same situation against Indianapolis a few weeks ago. He threw a big interception at the end of the game. But the way he looks tonight, he looks definitely calm and confident. You got to allow him to have the opportunities to make the plays. This is really where the pressure just gets at you. And this is what playing quarterback in the NFL is all about, Al, right here.
3rd down and 6.
Making a play, 3rd and 6 in a 4th quarter, and you're down, and you're up by 7.
With 5 receivers and no backs, pressure is on. Pass is deflected and intercepted by Malloy. And Lawyer Malloy brings it back to the 26-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson couldn't handle it. Deflects off Key to Malloy, and the Patriots first down at the 27.
Nothing wrong with the throw by Ray Lucas. He senses the blitz. He sees it coming. There's Willie McGinnis. Throws the ball to Keyshawn Johnson. A great play by Ty Law, forcing that interception and getting to Keyshawn Johnson exactly when the ball got there.
1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Bledsoe out of the shotgun. A ton of time. 5:58 remaining. Jets rush 4. Bledsoe to the end zone for Jefferson, who's double covered and broken up by Aaron Glenn.
Dangerous. Throwing down the middle late. Safeties back there. Omar Stoutmeyer back there as well as Aaron Glenn. And you can see Drew Bledsoe wants to stay in the 2-minute drill. Trying to get it to Sean Jefferson and 2 Jets in the same vicinity.
Trying to stay in rhythm. 2nd down and 10. And it is thrown out of bounds. Maybe some miscommunication on the pattern. It was Vincent Brisby. Maybe Drew thought he was going to run it out there, and instead he's running to the end zone.
Well, when you're going without a huddle, you're trying to communicate. The fans are loud. You have to signal, and sometimes the receiver doesn't see your signal correctly. You call for what was a comeback, and he's running a go, and it looks ugly.
3rd down and 9, and this is Bledsoe buying time against the grain, throwing bad pass, underthrown, incomplete, intended for 4. So it's a very rapid 3 and out at a time when with Ernie Zampese sending in the plays a ton of time, but New England running it as if there was a minute and 40 left in the game.
Now remember, they're going into the wind here, and one of the reasons they're staying in their 2-minute drill out is because Drew has played better in this situation. His awareness is up.
And they're going to go for it here because the other option is to kick a 44-yard field goal into the wind, which still keeps you down by 4, meaning you're still going to need a touchdown. So they go for it on 4th down and 10 from the 27-yard line, and Bledsoe's pass is incomplete, out of bounds for Jefferson.
Great stop by the New York Jet defense right there, and Drew Bledsoe actually had Jefferson if he'd thrown the ball a little bit better, a little bit more accurately inside.
Well, if the Patriots need some fodder for a highlight film this year, they've got plenty. They've played 6 games this season determined by 3 or fewer points. 5 of those 6 determined by 1 or 2 points. And they still haven't played an overtime contest, which is what they're kind of hoping at the moment, down by 7.
Give the ball to Curtis Martin, let him run some time off. There you go.
Picks up a couple to the 29-yard line.
You know, again, Al, Ray Lucas looks good. That last interception, he threw the ball where he was supposed to throw it. He threw it accurately. Sometimes a defender is going to make a play for you, and that's exactly what Ty Law did. So his 2 interceptions tonight, both off the hands of his own receivers. One a little bit high to Wayne Corbett.
And that's Chad Eaton, who is down. I was thinking, Boomer, a year ago, just about a year ago tonight, close to it, we sat here and we were talking about the fact that the New England Patriots were going to go to Hartford. They had made a deal, and then within a couple of weeks they reinstituted an arrangement. Bob Kraft came up with a lot of his money, in fact $250 million worth, to build a new stadium, which they're hopeful, and there is the owner of the Patriots, hopeful of building a new stadium, which would be located adjacent to this one, have it open in time for the 2002 season. A couple of things need to be done before then, including a vote in this little town. There are only 16,000 people in Foxborough, but they need a vote to okay some zoning changes, and if that goes through, they can begin to think about construction. 2nd down and 7. That takes place in 3 weeks. From the 30-yard line, Martin, they stop him. That's a gain of 2 to the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 5.
So I think what Bill's doing here now is trying to at least milk a little this time off the clock, and he senses now that the game obviously is where he wants it. He wanted it to be close in the 4th quarter. Obviously, he didn't think it was going to be this close because of the way the game had progressed up until this point. But he's trying to be smart, and certainly now Ray Lucas has got to be smart with this football. I think that you might see Ray Lucas sprinting out on this, getting out of the pocket, getting away from the rush, and maybe making a play with his legs.
3rd down and 4. Lucas pressure, flags down, 2 of them from opposite directions intended for Johnson.
You're going to have holding, it looks like now, on the New York Jet offensive line, meaning that they will punt to the New England Patriots. But again, Ray Lucas smart. Just throw it out of bounds, let your defense play. You can see Kevin Mawai on this particular play.
68 offense. Penalty is declined. Hold down.
That's his 2nd. Take a look at this here. There's the blitz, and he's trying to block 2 guys, pushes one off, and then tries to make it back. Now, that's a terrific play by the center, but he grabs Lawyer Malloy by the face mask.
Now, Tufa's kick, a short one, but takes a great New York bounce. A most fortuitous hop for the New York Jets, and it is down at the 12-yard line. It was so bad, it was good.
When things are going good for you and it's your year like it is Tom Tupa, you can shank a punt, no return,
right,
and net 56 yards on it.
Spin one down there. The punt returner can't grab it on the fly, can't grab it on a bounce, and the next thing you know, you got a 56-yarder in the book. Now Bledsoe needing 7. From the 11-yard line, he begins this drive. 3:48 remaining in regulation, and New England with all of its timeouts. So a ton of time. 3:48.
Oh, absolutely.
3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. From the 11.
If the Jets continue to blitz, he's got to get the ball out quickly, and he can still use the middle of the field.
Good protection. Pass incomplete, though. Coach covered by Mo Lewis.
That time, everybody covering who they're supposed to cover. The last time down on the touchdown by Troy Brown, it seemed to me like there was a miscommunication in the secondary of the New York Jets. It sounds like the crowd is kind of wondering what's going to happen. Is this the end, or are we going to be able to continue to do this?
Second down and 10. Bledsoe begins to provide the answer here, and that's incomplete. Intended for Brown. That's uncovered by Mickens. It'll be third down.
And all this blitzing, what it's forced the New England Patriots to do is to keep 7 guys in blocking. They're only sending out 3 guys, and they're sending out 3 guys into a 5-man secondary. Not much room out there for those guys to operate.
Bledsoe 0 for his last 6. Blitz again. Bledsoe throws, caught over the middle, but only up to the 18-yard line, shy of the first down by Tony Simmons. And now New England has to punt. They're too deep in their own territory, and they can stop the clock 4 times with the 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
It's got to be real disconcerting for Drew Bledsoe looking at that defense and how they're changing personnel around and how they're moving different guys in and out and how they're blitzing him from all the different angles. And he just hasn't really looked too sure of himself dealing with it.
Johnson sends one up into the wind that is hauled in, fair caught at the 47-yard line by Ward. So now the Patriots will be forced to use their timeouts on defense with 3:01 left in regulation. Bill Parcells. Pete Carroll, when you think about it, was the coach of the Jets in 1994. It's the only time when these guys match up with each other in the history of the NFL that 2 guys have switched teams and then have faced each other. And it's the 6th such meeting between Parcells and Carroll. Only matchup in which each previously coached the opposing team. Still leaving here after guiding the Patriots into the Super Bowl following the '96 season. Keep it on the ground, give it to Martin. And all he wants to do is not run out of bounds, primarily. Timeout. New England. We're back, part of our 30th anniversary montage of moments on Monday Night Football. Go back to 1979. Very emotional time at Foxborough. Stingley paralyzed. A hit from Jack Tatum of the Raiders. Darrell, 20 years later, presiding over a foundation that monitors inner city kids in Chicago. It is second down and 9 after the timeout from the 48-yard line as Lucas throws. And it is not caught. It is one hop by Keyshawn Johnson. Trapped it.
Well, by not completing that pass, you help the Patriots out. You give them an opportunity to save one more of their timeouts. You stop the clock with an incomplete. Not that I disagree with the call. You just have to make the play. And Ray Lucas has got to get the ball somehow to Keyshawn Johnson. Almost makes a nice play right here. Just having a guy of his size being able to have the ability to go down and snatch the ball like that is pretty impressive.
Third down and 9. Pat still with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 9. Very important play. 49-yard line. They give it to Martin. And Curtis is a little bit short of the first down. He's down at the 42.5-yard line.
So Bill Parcells going, oh, you know, now we're not going to make another decision.
Well, Carroll's going to make a decision here, too. Do you take the timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning? Because, first of all, they're going to measure. So that's going to stop the clock. The officials stop it with 2:28.
This is why coaches get ulcers, Al. Plays like this.
What coach doesn't already have an ulcer?
But it's because of plays like this every week.
Bring the chains in. See how close they are. From here, it looks like they're short. It looks like it's going to be 4th down, less than 1. So a decision both on Parcells' part here. Look at this.
Looks like it's about, what, 6-7 inches?
Right.
No, it's longer than that.
No, it's long, yeah. They just wanted to see how far it was.
So now
if you're Carroll, if you take your time out here,
I'll tell you what you do.
Your team just had, well, let's see what the Jets are going to do. I mean, this is a pretty good little chess game here. What is Parcells going to show? For starters, he's going to show that he's going to go for it. Maybe, if for no other reason than to make Carroll use his timeout on this side of it.
He might not even snap the ball here just to try to keep the clock running.
Right, now they start the clock again.
I can't imagine that he would go for this.
But they can't take it to the 2-minute warning because the play clock started at 25.
And if he doesn't take it to the 2-minute warning, there's something definitely wrong here. I can't believe that he's going to snap the ball. He's not going to snap it.
He's not. So he forces Carroll into not taking the timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning because the Jets are going to get a delay. They figured to punt it anyway, so that doesn't matter in terms of field position very much at this part of the field.
Well, that's a smart play by the New York Jets.
Right.
Absolutely. That's exactly what you want to do. Take the clock down as far as you can. Either Pete Carroll uses his timeout, you get penalized 5 yards, gives your punter more room. All things worked out for the New York Jets right there.
At the end of this play, you'll have the 2-minute warning. And when the Pats get the ball, they'll have 2 timeouts. Tom Tufa.
Nice punt. Little too far.
Too deep. Touchback. So the Pats will have 80 yards. That's the 2-minute warning. It comes with 1:51 officially on the clock. 80 yards, 2 timeouts, down by 7. After midnight in Foxborough. Tomorrow on an all-new Spin City, there's a... I can't. Boomer at 12:10, baby. You never know what you're going to get.
Anything goes, baby.
Right. That's right. All bets are off.
Well, this is where you make your money if you're the big-time QB. You have an opportunity to move your team down, get yourself in a tie position, and hopefully get it into overtime. And Drew Bledsoe has been here many times before. He's adept at the 2-minute draws we've seen here in the last quarter here. But this is where you earn your keep right here, Al.
And again, the Pats in a game that goes right down to the wire. Last second win over the Jets on opening day began things, and it hasn't gotten any easier since. Erased a 3-touchdown deficit in week 2.
Be interesting to see how the Jets play now. Do they sit back or do they come after them? And Belichick, like any good defensive coordinator, is going to want to mix and match.
They rush 4 on first down. Bledsoe look out from the blind side, sacked at the 11 by Anthony Pleasant.
Anthony Pleasant ran right around Bruce Armstrong. Actually, they ran a twist, and what a twist is where one guy goes underneath and Pleasant comes all the way around. A game between he and Brian Cox on the defensive right side.
3rd sack of Bledsoe tonight. He's also had 3 picks. Clock running down to 1.5 minutes on 2nd and 19 and going deep and incomplete. Again, the wind holding up the ball intended for Tony Simmons, who was looking inside, and Bledsoe thrown outside.
So let's go back to the beginning of the second half when Bill Parcells decided, you know what, we'll go into the wind in the 3rd quarter because we want the wind at our back in the 4th quarter. And this is one of the reasons why right here.
The Patriots going into the wind, needing 89 yards. 3rd down and 19. Have to get to the 30 to convert. Bledsoe trying to find anybody who's open. Then he'll take it himself, and he goes out of bounds up at the 22-yard line. So he's 8 yards shy of the first down, trying to keep the game going on a 4th down play here.
Smart play by Drew Bledsoe. Just get half of it back. You don't have to force it and try to get it all in one play, but certainly now this is where it comes down to the New York Jets. Do they sit back or do they come after him? It almost looks like to me that the way the Jets are walking around right here.
They send 5. The protection is good. Bledsoe throws, and at the 36-yard line, a flag comes in. Glenn makes the catch for the first down. Barker comes in. Mickens made contact as the ball got there.
Looked like Mickens had established his ground.
And it's going to be against the Patriots.
And I think this is the correct call because Mickens establishes himself on the inside of Terry Glenn. And Terry Glenn has no choice but to move him out of the way to make the play.
Offense. That's a 10-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So we've seen a bunch of this happening in the last few weeks, Al, where the defender establishes his position. The offender is the one who initiates the contact, and they got this one right.
Move it back to the 12, 4th and 18.
Take a look here. Now watch Glenn. There's Mickens inside. He's got his position established, and now he's just pushing off. Good call by the official. I agree with that 100%.
Have to get to the 30 to convert on a 4th down play with 70 seconds remaining. Against a 4-man rush.
Get back, get back.
Bledsoe heaves it to the 30-yard line, and it is Tony Simmons who can't hold on. And that would have been enough for the 1st down. Had to get to the 30. He was at the 31-yard line.
What a great job by the offensive line of the Patriots, giving Drew Bledsoe time back there. The Jets were rushing 4, and Tony Simmons has just got to make that play. He's just got to catch the football. An easy catch by NFL standards for wide receivers, wide open in the zone. A nice throw, and there's Tony Simmons. Just make the catch. But again, the ball coming into the wind, it looked like the nose died on him a little bit, and it moved like a knuckleball would if you were the catcher of, say, somebody like Phil Niekro.
Bill Belichick exults. 60 seconds remaining. The Patriots can stop the clock twice, but that will just prolong the agony here. From the 12, Martin. Curtis goes down at the 11. Martin along the way tonight, now with 143 yards. And after the 10th weekend of play, Curtis is now leading the NFL in rushing. And Drew Bledsoe can start thinking about the Miami Dolphins in next week's game at Pro Player Stadium.
And if it thinks it's going to get any easier defensively, it's not. The Miami Dolphins coming off basically what Jimmy Johnson characterized as a butt whipping down in out in Buffalo. I'm sure they are going to be lying in the weeds down there waiting for Drew Bledsoe and his passing attack.
There it is up to the moment. Deuce Staley of the Eagles, and they haven't had a bye week yet. So Martin has played one fewer game and has the lead over the Deuce.
And how important was Curtis Martin to Bill Parcells? He spent a lot of money to get him. Gave up 2 compensation draft picks to get him here.
Takes it to the 8-yard line.
And he's really, when you talk to Curtis Martin, I don't think that really means much to him that he's the #1 leading rusher in the NFL. He's a guy that all he wants to do is win. He goes about it quietly, professionally. And tonight he had another great evening. And certainly if he continues to do this, gives the Jets a chance to win and be productive as the season goes out.
Well, this takes tonight's game into account. Indianapolis and Miami on top. Each has had a bye week. Bills haven't yet. Thus Buffalo has played 10 games. New England, despite a 6-3 mark, would be in 4th place, but still in pretty good position for the playoffs. And remember, this is a division that sent 4 teams to the playoffs last year and may very well again this season.
I think it's going to be unlikely, however, Al, because you'll probably have one team from the West, and that will be the division winner, maybe Seattle. That's the way it looks now. You have to remember that Jacksonville and Tennessee play in the Central. They cross over with the NFC West. Easy scheduling.
Right.
And 3 teams maybe this year, not 4.
3rd down and 7, and here's Martin swinging to the outside, making sure he stays in bounds. And he is tackled there by Teddy Bruschi. In effect, they'll have to run a play since there's a 1-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. And Bill knows it. He says you got the 1-second differentials. Even if you take a delay penalty here and then you do a kneel down, it's over. But Bill looking up at the game clock, as you can see, not quite in sync. And so if the officials are on top of it, which they should be here, and they call a delay of game if the Jets don't run a play, or maybe they'll just run a play anyway here. Take it down to 2, 1. They'll run it. They'll kneel down. That's the end of the game.
Well, Bill Parcells had all the numbers right tonight, and Ray Lucas played a fantastic football game. Despite 2 interceptions that were not his fault, he got everything out of Ray Lucas tonight that he wanted in his quarterback, to inspire his team, to move the football team, to put points on the board, and the defense came up big again.
You know, you just take a look. You look at the Jets and you say 3-6, bad year, and it is a bad year for them. But a team that has also lost 3 games in the last 30 seconds. So how close are they to being 6-3 without Vinny?
They're like everybody else in the NFL, Al.
Back with the play of the game.
So close, so close.